This is Monty in the Morning, the show Phoenix Magazine readers voted #1 talk radio show in Arizona.
#1 during your morning commute.
#1 whenever news breaks during your day.
And #1 whenever and wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man. Is it really Thursday already? September 22nd, 2022. Jake's sound machine works.
I'm going to smash every computer we have on our desk. Literally everyone.
Oh, I love it. The Monty Show presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. The Utah Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. You never come out of your pocket. There are no big retainers or retainers at all. Free consultations. They're even going to defer your medical bills for you. That's why you go chat with them on their website, UtahAdvocates.com. Hey, guess what? Deron Williams has something to say about the Utah Jazz. Is Colin Cowherd a jerk? Do you like Cowherd? The Herd. We'll talk about that. UCLA is probably going to have to pay Cal if they want to go to the Big Ten. Robert Sarver's a bigot. And Ime Udoka getting that swerve on. You know, it just is what it is. I'm fired up today.
On.
Mrs. Monty put me to bed. She actually tucked me in bed.
She put you to bed.
Yeah, she rocked me and swaddled me and, put me to bed, and it was a little earlier than usual. So I got good sleep, so we're fired up today. Fired up.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Let's talk about the Utah Jazz, because our good friend, and we're all good friends, right? Like, Deron Williams is our guy. He's our buddy. We've never talked to him
Kick it, we'll flow.
on the show, and frankly, he's kind of a jerk, but Deron Williams said some stuff that is inflammatory about the Utah Jazz, and I guess here's my question about the Jazz. Do the Jazz have an image problem around the NBA? I think it's a pretty straightforward, simple question, right? Do free agents want to come to Salt Lake City? Probably not. But is Deron Williams right about this? And before we even play it, is Deron Williams right about this?
I don't know, man. I have it. On some level, yes. On some level, the question is, will free agents come to Utah? That's the question.
Was that like a cough for effect, or did you?
No, I actually coughed. Yeah, I actually, got to warm the pipes up here. Is he right? I don't know. To me, I think it's an excuse or a cop-out to say that free agents won't come to Utah, because that's what they said about Phoenix for years.
So you say he's wrong?
Yeah, I think that he's wrong, yeah.
All right, let's listen to your friend and mine, Deron Williams.
Because I had been around all the best players in the world. I played in the Olympics, right? And I was trying to recruit everybody. I'm talking to everybody. Nobody's coming to Utah. And I know, I'm a really good player at the time, but I know I'm a point guard. You don't win championships with just a point guard, right? You need pieces. We need other pieces. And all I saw, the writing on the wall, was nobody is going to come to Utah. Not one person I've ever talked to was interested in coming to Utah. It just was a reality.
Yeah, so he's talking about this and making these comments on the Ringer's NBA show called Real Ones with Raja and Logan, and it's a good show. I like
Raja Bell does a good job on that show.
Yeah, I like the conversation they had with Deron, but I just feel like it's a cop out for smaller market teams to be like, oh well, nobody's ever coming to our organization, because the New Jersey Nets, or what was the New Jersey Nets, never in a million years would have thought they'd have had the best basketball player on the planet in Kevin Durant. And all of a sudden they've got two of them now in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So I just think it's a cop-out. I think Jazz fans, and fans in smaller markets want to be like, oh, well, nobody will ever come and play here because we're in Portland or Utah or Orlando or wherever, and I just don't think it's true. I think that Deron, had a great career here as a Jazz man. He had a great run in the Olympics with a lot of the guys, which is what he's referencing in that video. Right, how he played with the best talent in the world, and none of them wanted to come to Utah. And I do think, at that time in the league, Utah's image problem was probably much worse than it is now. But for Deron Williams, I think in his perspective there's a problem. But I don't think in today's NBA that there's a problem.
There's a problem. I actually think he's nails. I think he's exactly right. I think that the Jazz are going to struggle to compete with major market franchises to sign free agents. And I think that's not a stigma. That's a reality. That's not an image problem. That's the truth. I think the reality is, if you are Kevin Durant and you demand a trade, is Utah even on your list? Probably not. If you are one of the mega free agents and the Lakers, the Celtics, the Knicks, and the Jazz are calling you, are you answering the phone for the Lakers and the Knicks? Sure you are. Are you answering the phone for the Jazz? You're probably not. I think that's just the reality of business in the NBA. And when we talk about the Jazz and we talk about the business of the NBA, isn't this why you've got to clean up on the Donnie trade and on the Royce trade and on the Rudy trade? And when you trade Bogey to the Lakers for 2 first-round picks, don't you have to clean up on that? I think you do, because you're not going to be able to go out and find a guy in free agency that's transformative. So you need to take those draft picks and turn them into trades for talent that's transformative. And I think one of the harsh realities in sports and really in life, and if you think about yourself, this is very applicable to things in your life. You either own and embrace the truth and the reality of your situation, who you are, where you are, and where you want to be. I'm a man. Yeah, and if you're not willing to do that, you're never going to advance. You're not going to succeed. You know, whether it's how much you weigh or what job you have or what career you have, or whether or not you're going to be able to go out and sign free agents as the Utah Jazz. If you don't embrace the truth and the reality of your situation, you're always going to be second.
Y'all feel me?
And I think Danny Ainge embraces the truth of this situation, which is why he was unwilling to compromise when the Knicks wanted to trade for Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying that certainly you're wrong. I think that my opinion is when Deron Williams played, yeah, the Jazz had a big, I'm not going to say a big image problem. I think that the reputation of Salt Lake City at that time was not great. I think people think it's a cold climate that, has nothing to do, and you're just going there for basketball and that's it. And guys want to go and be in LA where it's sunny and everything's, 70 degrees all the time. But to me, I look at, other organizations, and I think that you can find a way, but you have to have good leadership, and I think you have to have good players at the top of your roster. So, like, as an example, if the Jazz hadn't missed on 57 first-round draft picks throughout the course of their organization, maybe it would have been a little bit easier.
Can you go ahead and name those 57?
Maybe it would have been easier to bring free agents in. Maybe if you had developed guys, it would have been easier to bring free agents in. And that's why I say I'm not going to sit here and fall into this victimhood mentality of the Utah Jazz can't sign big-name free agents. The reason that the organization has struggled to sign big-name free agents is not because Salt Lake City is some horrible place. It's because the organization hasn't been a winning organization.
But is that victimhood or is that the truth?
Well, I think for Jazz fans, I think it's victimhood. Jazz fans want to be like, well, we're perennially bad. We're an awful organization and we can't win anything and we're going through another rebuild. Like, that's what I think we'll see in the comments today, with all due respect. I'm not trying to hate on you guys, but I think that that's what a lot of Jazz fans are going to say, that we can't get stars and, we haven't really had stars since, AK and Deron played. And, that's what I think it's going to be. And so, in my opinion, I just disagree with the idea that you can't get free agents. I think you have to run a good organization, you have to have great culture, and you got to have a reason for guys to come and play for your organization outside of your geography. If you have that, they will come.
Here's my issue with that. It's not that you can't attract free agents. I think the top of the food chain you cannot. But I look at a guy like Rudy Gay. This was an abject failure. It's been a disaster. Let's be honest about it. His relationship with Quinn, he has not said 2 words. I must have called his agent a dozen times this summer.
Yeah.
Not a single word. Rudy Gay doesn't want to be in Salt Lake City, and my guess is that he regrets signing with the Jazz. That'd just be, or being a Jazz man in general. That'd be my guess.
Right.
So when you look at a guy like Rudy Gay, or you look at any of the top free agents, it doesn't seem to work out here. And I look back over the history of time, I look at the way Carlos Boozer ended, right? And if you go back through free agency, who's the last big name free agent to sign here?
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's a problem. But I also think that you're exactly right about the failings of the Dennis Lindsey era to draft and develop quality talent. And I think when you look at Deron's an interesting example of this as well, because what did D. Will do when he left here? He really didn't do anything. He was a bust. And where did he goes to Brooklyn, he goes to Cleveland, like the guy he was a bust. And I think it's very difficult if you're Gordon Hayward, if you're Enes Kanter. What about Don? What about Rudy Gobert? Like Rudy Gobert pretty much got shown the door in the Eurobasket tournament.
Yeah.
Right? He got dunked on. It feels like when you come to Utah to win or to die, Karl going to the Lakers and not winning is not good for the Jazz. And I know that a lot of Jazz fans were upset about that. The reality is Karl Malone going to the Lakers and losing is not great for the Utah Jazz. The reality is a guy like Carlos Boozer leaving here unceremoniously, a guy like Deron Williams, and I would actually encourage you to go find this Ringer podcast.
Yeah.
I think you were saying, and I don't know why people are unearthing this now. This is like a year old.
Yeah, so it literally says, and I can get, like, if you go and find it on Apple Podcasts, this episode was put out March 4th of 2021. This isn't like Deron said this yesterday. Like, it's so funny to me, too, and this is, to me, a really important point here. Deron said this March 4th, 2021. Like, this isn't new. This isn't, like, some earth-shattering thing. And yet here we are, and every, like, NBA Twitter handle or channel is picked it up and is treating it like he just said it yesterday. And that's the thing that I think is funny. Like, that's what happens in the NBA that I feel like doesn't happen in other leagues, you know, where, like, we need, like, it's almost like the NBA news cycle is, like, thirsty for news. So they got to go and dig up some old Deron Williams files, or they got to go and dig up something else. You know what I mean? Like
some old Deron Williams files. You know what I mean?
Files. Like why now? What, like,
behind the scenes?
So wait, let me get this right. Robert Sarver, Ime Udoka, like that stuff isn't good enough, and we're gonna get to that stuff today. But you kind of you see what I'm getting at, and this I think is the most important point of that. This not always, but too often it happens where the Utah Jazz are on the wrong side of a Deron Williams running his mouth on a podcast.
And and a bunch of people joined the show, so let me play it again because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with this. Deron Williams went on the Ringer NBA podcast. Raja Bell was one of the hosts of the show, and he talked about free agents coming to Salt Lake City.
Because I had been around all the best players in the world. I played in the Olympics, right? And I was trying to recruit everybody. You know, I'm talking to everybody. Nobody's coming to Utah. And I know, like, I'm a really good player at the time. But I know I'm a point guard. You don't win championships with just a point guard, right? You need pieces. You know, we need other pieces. And, like, all I saw, the writing on the wall, was nobody is going to come to Utah. Not one person I've ever talked to was interested in coming to Utah. It just was a reality.
Deron Williams on the Ringer podcast.
Even the sentiment, not to cut you off, but even the sentiment right there at the end. You notice how they're, like, laughing about it, and it's like, well, yeah, it's Utah.
But let's be honest. He went a little too far, and he was kind of being a dick about it when he's like, nobody's coming to Utah. Nobody. Okay, you're being a jerk. Okay, we get it. But the problem is, and we're going to talk about this with Cowherd later too. Yeah. I just don't think he's wrong.
Yeah,
that's the biggest issue.
The problem is, so this is where my mind goes to with this conversation. I look at the best players in the league. Where did they all start? Where'd they all start? LeBron started in Cleveland in a bad organization. Kevin Durant started with the Seattle Supersonics, which then became the Oklahoma City Thunder, and brought that organization up. And that's how you got free agents to come to those teams.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm not certainly going to sit here and say this is some indictment on Donovan Mitchell or something crazy like that, but I think that's what it takes for, you know, the Utahs, the Clevelands, you know, the Oklahoma City Thunders. Like if you're going as a secondary market team, if you're going to start bringing in free agents, you got to have that dynamic talent.
But look at Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant were all there together at the same time as young NBA ballers, and none of them are there anymore.
Yeah.
The issue is, and this is, again, Just truth telling, because, we're the truth in Salt Lake City sports talk. The truth is, it's cool you can draft him. How do you keep him? Well, you win.
Yeah.
That's how you keep him. How is Devin Booker still on the Suns? You win.
Well, and look at OKC. I mean, they had several deep playoff runs and didn't win. Jazz had several playoff runs. Obviously, they didn't get past the second round, and here we are.
You're not wrong. Football 50 coming up in 4 minutes. We'll get to this Colin Cowherd story. We'll also have a lock for you. Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime tonight. Big injury update in that game. But let's get some of your comments in here this morning. Good morning, Neville93. Good to see you, my man. Jesse Harsh says, morning, boys. Of course we can't. Don't you remember poor Deron Williams trying to recruit peeps? Come to Utah. We have Mormons, mountains, and fry sauce.
As you can see, there's not much hope for you left.
Well, I mean, the fry sauce should be the closer, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the signing bonus. So you don't have to pay them money. You just give them fry sauce.
Right, of course.
You take them to Hires Big H. Give them some fry sauce. That's what I'm talking about. Kanai Johnson, what's up, KJ? I think they have more problems than just their image. I mean, maybe, but I mean, you're transforming the face of this organization.
Yeah.
That to me, I think you're moving in the right direction. Truly, for the first time since Dennis Lindsey took this job.
Yeah.
Maybe for the first time since LHM's passing, you have momentum. I feel like you're moving in the right direction.
Agreed.
Because I know that this is going to be revisionist history, whatever. I never felt during Dennis Lindsey's reign here that this team was close to a championship.
Yeah, and I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, I don't. And I know that's probably going to tweak some people. Tanner Plummer says, what's up, boys? Oh, D. Will, you were one of my role models growing up. Yes, I know he's not the best role model. Why do you have to say such hurtful things?
Yeah.
Tanner also says, I don't think he's completely wrong. However, I think there will be maybe some free agents out there who see Utah as an ideal fit for them. We'll see.
Could be.
I mean, isn't that what Dwayne Wade was brought here to do? To recruit free agents. Ed Wins says, I think there are players that see basketball opportunities rather than just location. If you could somehow guarantee a chip, tons of players would come. Yeah, guarantee is a tough word.
Yeah, it is.
Jeff Johnson, what's up, my guy? Good to see you. Tanner says, is that a trick question? Cowherd is a jerk and a joke. Well, we'll see about this comment because I actually think we'll battle on this. 2 words for you: bull. Okay. Eric and Rowley says making the playoffs is great or whatever, but they haven't done anything in the playoffs. No, they've been a complete failure.
Totally agree.
Complete failure. M. Morris says Conley came, but that was a trade. By the way, that was a trade. Eric and Rowley says, and the Jazz haven't advanced past the second round since 06-07. Yeah, that's a bummer. It's a bummer. Down, up, down says black man want nothing to do with Utah. Boston gets away with their questionable environment because they are a winning organization. Yeah, that could be true. That could absolutely be true. We'll see. We'll get back to this coming up at the top of the hour. Also, we got to get into this Ime Udoka thing and Robert Sarver and the Jazz. And this Ime Udoka thing, the head coach of the Boston Celtics, is a big deal. That's coming up in 10 minutes. Right here on the Monty Show, but right now it's time for football at 50, presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Papa Murphy's Pizza. Use the promo code Monty25 to get yourself 25% off a purchase of $25 or more. Download the Papa Murphy's app. It is easily the best way to order their pizza. Tomorrow night, it's Friday night. We're going to order 2 pizzas and smoke them on the smoker. We're going to get that take and bake chocolate chip cookie dough, put that on the smoker as well. Friday nights are good nights.
There you go. Now you got the music. We're ready. Everything's great.
Oh, well. I already saw. I don't remember who said it, but there was already a comment about, I want the chimes.
Unfortunately, we can't do the chimes.
Can't do the chimes anymore.
Sorry, buddy. Buddy. He was voted off the island.
All right, let's talk about this game tonight. Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime. Steelers at Browns. No Jadeveon Clowney. Myles Garrett will play. Browns are a 4.5-point favorite on Amazon Prime, 6:15 Mountain Time.
This is the classic Browns should win this game and will find a way to lose this game. That's what this is. And I love the Browns, but I just can't do it, man. Can't do it. Got to go Steelers.
I think the bigger question here is this the last we see of Mitch Trubisky as a starter in the NFL?
I think if he wins, it's not. If you win, they can't take you out.
Well, if the Steelers win this game and Mitchell is one of the reasons they win this game, no, I think he'll start next week as well. I think if there was a better option behind Mitch Trubisky, he'd already be benched. I think this is a critical moment in this guy's career. I think Mitchell Trubisky is a capable quarterback. He needs to show that now. And I honestly, there's very few moments in time in a professional athlete's career where you can say, yep, this game, this performance, every pass he throws is make or break. His career could come to an end tonight.
Yeah.
I think that's Mitchell Trubisky. I believe in Maserati Mitch. I think he is a capable quarterback. I just think he's never been in a situation, certainly not with my R and we, and certainly not in Buffalo where the starter never misses a snap. And I don't know that he's in this in Pittsburgh, but he's never been in a situation to facilitate the best parts of his game. Well, maybe it's time for him to evolve as a quarterback and get after it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll see what happens. And I think tonight's a huge night in the career of Mitch Trubisky. 4.5-point favorites at home for the Browns. I'm going to take the Browns to win this game.
I don't know, man. I like the Steelers in this game for whatever reason. I just think it's, yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Listen, let's be real honest. Your guy, Baker Mayfield, is going to play really well. Oh, wait. Yeah, he's in Carolina. He sucks for Carolina, too. But Deshaun Watson, wait.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's not possible. Because Deshaun Watson's, though. Did you guys see this? And I meant to put this. I'll have this graphic for you next hour on Football at 50. Did you guys see that Patrick Mahomes is the most liked player in the National Football League?
Right.
Tied with Russell Wilson.
Uh-huh.
Are you is
Not surprised. Not surprised at all. I think
you're
Patty
not
Mahomes,
surprised at
no.
all?
No, Patty Mahomes is the younger generation.
You're not
Tom Brady.
surprised at all.
Not at all. And the reason I'm not surprised is because Patrick Mahomes is the king of running around and making something out of nothing. He's very exciting to watch. The sidearm stuff, the State Farm commercial stuff, like he is a superstar in the league. And I think that when you have the kind of personality he has to go along with that, you're going to be a star, man. And
you're not surprised at all.
No, I'm not.
Here's the list on the screen right now. Mahomes and Wilson top the list of NFL's most liked players. Mahomes 1, Russell Wilson 2, Tom Brady 3, Matthew Stafford of the LA Rams 4, Matt Ryan of the Indianapolis Colts 5.
Uh-huh.
That's shocking. Kirk Cousins. I like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
If you've listened to the show, you know that. And then finally, somebody who's not a quarterback, Cooper Kupp is the most liked non-quarterback player in the NFL. The most disliked player in the NFL, Deshaun Watson. The only player with a net negative likability rating, Deshaun Watson.
Well, that's pretty much self-explanatory.
You're not surprised by this at all?
No, I'm telling you, Patty Mahomes is super likable, man.
But is Russell Wilson that likable of a guy?
Well,
is Russell Wilson Russell Wilson's not that likable of a guy.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I know he's got the hot wife, and I know that he, I get it. He's got a Super Bowl, and he gave another one away, and he was a victim in Seattle, and, prayers up. We get it, Corinthians and all that. Like,
Corinthians.
I understand why he's likable. He is the most liked player in the NFL, tied with Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, I struggle with that, too. Pat Mahomes, I'm not surprised by.
I don't even like him.
Russell Wilson, I'm surprised by. Because he's just not,
By the way, where's my guy, Hey Bear? That's a little disappointing. Note you look up and down this list. Jimmy Garoppolo's more well-liked than
Jimmy G.
Than
He's going to take over the 49ers.
People are dumb. Nobody said that NFL fans are dumb. All right. Got to fade the music down because I want to play this bite from Colin Cowherd because I do think this is significant. Colin Cowherd is a jerk. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Yep.
Not a likable guy. Are you upset about this that he said about 49er quarterback Trey Lance?
Not my job for you to be ready to hear the truth. I'm going to give you the truth. And if you're not ready for it, that is a you problem. But if somebody passed away and I thought they were a horrible person, I'd talk about it the next morning. Well, it's not the time or the place. Well, they were a bad person. They're no longer here. I have to talk about them. I'm going to do it on my terms for my show and fill the segment. I'm not going to wait 11 days until you've had therapy to get over it. 49er fans, get over it. The team's better with Garoppolo than Trey Lance.
The Herd on Fox Sports right there, Colin Cowherd talking about Trey Lance. So Colin said that they're better off without Trey Lance, that the Trey Lance injury is good for the San Francisco 49ers. Mm-hmm. And people lost their minds over it.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
And my question is, why are you losing your mind over that? Because he's not wrong. The San Francisco 49ers are absolutely better without Trey Lance.
Yeah, I mean, I unfortunately, in this case, I have to agree with Colin, and I agree with you, but I think that the way Colin comes off and his delivery and the way he kind of goes about it, like as I like to call, like the hard-ass, hard-edged, hot take mentality type take, I think it's just rough sometimes. And I think when you're talking about a guy who broke his ankle clearly and was in an air cast being ambulanced off the field or whatever, or carted off the field, like, I think that just sits wrong with people, and that's what I think people are upset about. I don't think even that people disagree with him. I think that people are just frustrated he was so harsh about it.
I think that's his job. And I wondered in the comments, and I see some people talking about it, Tanner among them, in the comments, do you like Colin Cowherd? I can take the Herd for 5 minutes at a time.
5-minute increments.
He's not somebody I can listen to for hours on end in the back. I can listen to Romy in the background, and
totally.
It can drone for hours on end, and I'm fine with it. I can't do that with Colin. I just can't. Tanner says, I hate Colin, but he's not wrong here. San Francisco is better with Jimmy G. Yeah, totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Eric says, did Trey Lance die? People in the Bay Area and the 49er locker room think the 49ers are better with Jimmy G. As long as he can stay healthy, the jury's out on that, though.
No,
I totally
not
agree.
Out. The jury's not out.
No, the jury's out on whether Jimmy G can stay healthy.
Oh.
That's when the 49ers wind up in the jackpot. If he gets hurt, because Lance is out for the year, if Jimmy G gets hurt, Eric, you're exactly right. Exactly right. Jeff Johnson says, I'm a Niner fan, and I'm pissed about the quarterback situation. Jimmy G is great for 3 quarters a game and will turn it over and become a liability in the 4th, but I'm not mad about the comment. Yeah. Dallin Sproul says, Colin is good for YouTube clips. That's about it. Oh, wow.
Great point.
Love that. M. Morris says, so much drama with San Francisco.
Agreed.
Absolutely right.
Agreed.
Absolutely right. It's interesting. Look at all the people talking about. Jeff Johnson says, dude, Wilson is a good dude, and I hate the Seahawks, but that dude is hard to hate. I don't hate Russell Wilson. I don't hate Russell Wilson. He's just irrelevant to me. Like, I don't think he's a great quarterback anymore. I don't know that he ever was. The late, great Will Smith, who was my producer at 1320K Fan. The sports leader. Come on, man. Do your job. Do your job. No, Will Smith loved Russell Wilson, and we used to go round and round about this. I just don't think that Russ has ever been the reason you win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He is a good dude. His wife is really talented in many, many ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he's an elite quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. But if you ask me, do I like him? I mean, I don't hate him. But is he somebody?
Meh.
Is he somebody that's even on your radar?
Just like, eh.
He's not really somebody that's on my radar.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I just don't look at him that way. Football 50-10 of the hour, every hour on the Monty Show, presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza.
No one goes all in on made-from-scratch freshness like Papa Murphy's. We go all in on quality. All in on craft. And on the Triple Pep Pizza, we go all in on pepperoni. Because when you go all in, people notice. Go all in with a limited-time Triple Pep Pizza, topped with 3 types of pepperoni for just $11.99. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Pepperoni or sausage?
Sausage.
Can you put pineapple on pizza?
Hell yes.
Canadian bacon or bacon on pizza?
Bacon.
Ranch on pizza?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. See? That's why Jake's here. It is nepotism at its finest. But home slice puts ranch on pizza, and I can get down with that.
Yes.
Use promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your order at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Download the Papa Murphy's app. It is easily the best way to order a slice of pie. This show is brought to you by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. When you need an injury attorney, and I know that most people are like, injury, sminjury. Wait till you get in a car accident. Wait till you slip and fall somewhere. Wait until somebody does something that wrongs you and you wind up getting hurt for it. You can't work, and maybe you're going to miss a couple of paychecks. The Advocates can make that right for you. Focus on your health. Focus on getting back to the best version of you. You didn't deserve to be in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate. That's why you go to UtahAdvocates.com. I think the biggest stories in sports this morning certainly revolve around the NBA. And, whether it's this Deron Williams deal where Deron's saying that nobody's coming to Salt Lake City as a free agent, I think that's certainly a stigma. Interesting talking point. I actually think the story in Phoenix with Robert Sarver selling the Phoenix Suns, this is a big deal. This is a big story. It has to do with misogyny, abuse of women, racial epithets, racial abuse, all kinds of stuff. But you want to know what the biggest story in the NBA today is? Boston Celtic coach Ime Udoka is looking at a year-long suspension. And this is about as ugly as it gets.
Yeah.
In the NBA. It was a Woj bomb.
Woj.
It was. A Woj bomb. Is that the...
Well done. Well, I mean, that was well done.
Me. Woj tweeting out last night that Ime Udoka, one of the hottest young coaches in the NBA, had an extramarital affair with a Boston Celtics staff member. It was consensual. He is married, and this woman is not his wife.
Keep it real.
And it came out originally when there was a Woj bomb. I'm trying. When there was a Woj bomb, it was originally that he had violated Boston Celtics, their code of conduct.
Ronnie, please.
But this story has evolved, and now we know Ime Udoka cheated on his wife by having an affair with a Boston Celtics staff member, allegedly. Uh-oh. Should he be suspended an entire season for an extramarital affair? I mean, this is a crazy story. And again, I will just say what I always say. Why do men always fall at the feet of a vagina?
Hey, guys.
This is another situation where you're going to have a powerful man that's going to, face severe punishment for sex.
Yeah.
Because that's what this is.
Yeah.
Whether it's Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky smoking cigars in the Oval Office, whether it is the Kennedys, you name it. You know the names. You know the scandals. Here you have a guy who is at the top of his profession. He took the Boston Celtics, one of the most storied franchises in the NBA. And I mind you, he's a black man who took the Boston Celtics,
which matters,
to the NBA Finals. And that absolutely matters. He's got the world in the palm of his hand. So naturally, he would have an extramarital affair with a Boston Celtics staff member and wind up now he is in the jackpot. Is a year-long suspension too much?
No. I think that when you're the head coach of the Boston Celtics, there is a certain standard you have to live up to. I just like whether you're white, you're black, whatever your skin color is, from that perspective, it doesn't matter. I think that Ime Udoka was one of the best stories in the NBA. I frankly, I'm not a Boston Celtic fan, but I have to say I did respect Ime Udoka for what he was able to do because when you look at what Brad Stevens was able to do with, Tatum and Jaylen Brown and the group that they've put together, they came up short, and there's no doubt about that. And then, Boston goes through this process where Brad Stevens moves upstairs to the front office, Ime Udoka comes in, they are off and running, and it's everything you want in terms of basketballing. From a front office perspective, from an on-the-floor perspective, everything was great. And it's just really unfortunate that I mean, that's how this worked out, because I think that Ime Udoka, if you really put this into perspective, think about it. I mean, this is, what is he, 2 seasons in, I think, or whatever it was?
No, 1 season.
Is it just his first season? I thought
yes.
Well, yeah, I think that, I don't know, man. It's really sad, because I think when you're able to go to the NBA Finals in what looks like your first season, that's pretty legit, dude.
That's a huge problem, man.
And I think that when you do it in the NBA, as a black man in a notoriously biased town in Boston, I think that's extremely impressive. And I think that it's really sad that we got to go ahead and add him to the list of guys that wreck their life. Because if you really get into this, if you dive into this, think about it, what happens when you're in that position and this happens. So, okay, cool. Suspension is not even your biggest problem right now. Your biggest problem is now you're probably getting a divorce, I'm assuming, but I mean, I don't know. That's their decision.
And I believe he's married to an actress.
So you're probably getting a divorce.
But here's my question. And call me crazy, maybe I'm over the top on this. How do you not fire this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's on the table too.
You're going to suspend him for a year. Woj, by the way,
thank you.
Woj is saying that he will not be terminated. His job is not in jeopardy in Boston. How are you not firing this guy? And look, I get it. He's a rock star in the NBA right now. I totally understand it.
And he's good at what he does.
You had an extramarital affair. You cheated on your wife with a Celtics staff member, and they're going to suspend you, not fire you.
Wish this was you.
Yeah, especially with what's going on in Phoenix with Robert Sarver.
Yeah.
How are you not firing this guy? Like, if I was Wick Grossbeck and the guys that own the Celtics, I'd have fired him.
Here's the difference between this situation and the Sarver thing. Now, while they're sort of in the same realm, it's
sure.
Frankly, it's sexual activity. It's men and women in the workplace. Like, it's that whole thing. The difference is the stuff that Sarver was doing was not consensual. The stuff that Sarver was doing was not wanted or warranted or accepted. The stuff that Ime Udoka was doing was consensual. They both wanted it. They both did it, and they were both on the same page. So that's the big difference that I see in the two situations. And obviously, it needs to be said that Ime Udoka is a head coach and Robert Sarver is an owner, which is two completely different conversations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that the conversation around how Boston and, frankly, the league is going to handle this is alive and well. But, yeah, I do think that a 1-year suspension, it does beg some questions. A, yeah, how is termination not on the table? B, if you're Boston, how can you have this guy come back and coach for you? Oh, that's right, because what we're finding out repeatedly is that if you give a situation time, that people just seem to forget about it.
And if you win...
And if you win.
What if they'd have been a subpar 500 team last year? He'd be gone.
He'd be gone.
He'd absolutely be gone.
There's no doubt about that.
That's the hypocrisy of professional sports. And I do agree with you. Obviously, the big distinction in the two situations is that, Jerk Sarver in Phoenix is a racist, a bigot, and a misogynist, in my opinion.
Yes.
This was a consensual, and that's an important word.
Yes.
Two parties decided they were going to hook up and be physically active together. Daddy? And, like they consensually had sex. I think that matters. It's not like he assaulted her, sexually harassed her, bullied her. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it right. And he should be fired here. And it just...
I just don't know how you have him lead your organization now.
Yeah, it's such a bad look for the NBA.
Yeah, and by the way, I think it also needs to be said, the NBA has been struggling recently, as far as all this stuff that's going on. Like, it seems like when it rains, it pours, and it's absolutely pouring in the NBA right now. And that's why I say, it's just frustrating because like, there was an article that came out, sidebar here to the story. There was an article that came out again about how in the NFL, black head coaches are really struggling to get jobs, and I think there's a conversation that goes around coaching circles, specifically black coaching circles, where it's like, hey, it's not just that we're struggling to get the job, it's that when we do get the job, we make a mistake and it makes us look bad. So if we don't win, we make mistakes, that's not helping our case, and that's what I think is the bigger, 1,000-foot view conversation. The NBA as a league is super inclusive. The NBA as a league is very cultural. It's a great league. They accept everybody, and that's what I love about the NBA. But at the same time, when I think about the fact that Ime Udoka is young, he's black, he's powerful, he's driven, he's really good at what he does, to make this kind of mistake, especially in the Boston Celtics organization, you're going to be lucky to get another job anytime soon.
Well, and you know what? I think I see a bunch of people commenting on this. Adler Harris says, good morning. Do you guys have resources for people to go to for feeling suicidal or feeling like they're being bullied? Yeah. You should absolutely go to the 988 suicide and crisis line. I mean, if you're feeling that way, please do that. And if you need help, Adler, DM me. You and I have DM'd on Twitter before. If you need,
reach out, bro.
Yeah, if you need help or you want to talk about something, man, DM me. I'm happy to talk with you. Down Up Down says if I slept with if Ime slept with a subordinate and someone that reports to him, then he should be fired, not suspended. No place for power dynamics like that in a professional workplace. I agree with that.
Yeah, I completely agree. But again, to your point, this is kind of what you were saying. This is the crazy thing with professional sports.
Yes.
We're not talking about an accounting job or a lawyer firm. We're talking about a professional basketballing organization. And this is why the whole suspension thing probably is not good enough.
Yeah, I mean it's not good enough. I think
we're trying to have a serious conversation here, and you're really messing up the flow. You know what I mean?
Okay, but Dallin Sproul says, how many players do that and get off all the time? Well, but I think when you're a coach or an executive, you're held to a higher standard.
You're in a position of leadership, bro.
I mean, whether it's Robert Sarver, Isaiah Thomas with the Knicks, think about all the sex scandals that have gone on in the NBA. Yes. And really, it should be across all industries. And I say this about men as well. Look, I'm telling you now, we have to do better. We have to do better.
Yes.
We continually as men put ourselves in situations because we cannot control our urges, because we cannot control our appetite. And look, I get it. We are, societal norms put us as conquerors. We're supposed to be alphas. We're supposed to be aggressive. In life, it is this whole, warrior in a garden instead of a gardener in a war. I totally understand that, man. I get it. But what I'm telling you is we as men have to understand that this is an issue. You work around women all the time. You cannot value women, for their physical attributes, for their ability to pleasure you. We do that as men all the time.
Come on, man.
And again, I just point to Ime Udoka is the perfect example of this. If he loses his job in Boston because he had this affair with this woman, his career is over.
Yeah.
His career's over.
He may coach again, but the track that you were on is forever done.
I maybe, but I would you really be surprised if he's a guy that? Would you really be surprised if he got fired? You would hire him?
What did we say about Deshaun Watson? Hey, he's never going to play again, and here we are on a fully guaranteed contract.
I just
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I don't see that, man. Oh yeah, Boyd, absolutely. He exposed the Celtics to huge liability. Yeah. And I don't know if it's out there or not. Frankly, I don't want to know. But the person that he had an affair with, I mean, who knows what that was about?
Who she is and what she does for the organization and what
I just think it almost doesn't matter. You are Ime Udoka. You're a married man, and you need to have better integrity and morals to lead your players. That matters. And I know that we all think that doesn't matter.
Oh, it matters.
Look at Mark Jackson with the Golden State Warriors. Look at all of the scandal that surrounded his exit from Golden State.
Y'all feel me?
You cannot have this and this is a huge distraction now. How many times is this coming up at Boston Celtics Media Day?
A bunch.
A ton. This is now a huge distraction. And if they suspend him for a year and they don't fire him, I think it's a huge mistake. I really, really do. The Monty Show presented by our good friends at TryDayTrading.com. Listen, we talk about this all the time on the show. Tri-Day Trading is your solution. If you're on the hamster wheel looking for that side hustle, if you're tired of grinding on a 9 to 5, if you had an affair and you got fired at work and you need to figure
Come on,
Anyway,
guy. Come on. Come
Hey,
on.
man,
I mean,
we all got to earn.
Listen, I love the boys over at Tri-Day Trading, but we
gotta earn. I'm just saying. Yeah, man. Look, if you need to make money, if you're trying to find that side hustle, trydaytrading.com/Monty. Trydaytrading.com/Monty. Go there, register for the free webinar. Don't take my word for it. And whether we're talking about mortgages, pizza, whatever, don't take my word for it. Go to trydaytrading.com/Monty. Watch the free webinar. It is really easy. You simply register, you watch the webinar, and then you make a decision. Hey, this sounds great. This is a great side hustle for me. I can scale this into a full-time gig. I'm going to make great money doing it. Let me go and check out trydaytrading.com/Monty. But if it's not a good fit for you, walk away.
Yeah.
That's all that Tri-Day Trading asks of you. Give them a shot to tell you why day trading is the avenue to make that bread, dude. Because we all deserve the life that we dream of. We all have this vision in our heads. And tell me that you don't. I know you do. You have a vision in your head for what you want your life to be. Maybe the car you're driving, the house you're living in. Maybe the vision that you have for your kids in the future.
Yeah.
Are you struggling to make those visions a reality, to bring your dreams to fruition? Do that at trydaytrading.com/Monty, because that's the truth. Tri-Day Trading makes your dreams come true because they're going to teach you how to day trade. They're going to show you that day trading is not the incredible risk and money-losing proposition that you have in your head. The reality is it's a great way to take a side hustle into your full-time gig. Stop making money for the guy that you're working for now. That paycheck is the drug he's giving you to make you forget about all those dreams you have. Instead, go to trydaytrading.com/Monty, take the webinar, and then make your decision. The best part is when you work with Tri-Day Trading, you don't trade your money. You trade their money. The first trade you make is with Tri-Day Trading's money. And if you make money, they're going to split 50% with you. When you make that bread for Tri-Day Trading with their money, they give you 50% of it. You work for yourself. You own your own business. You make your own money because you went to trydaytrading.com/Monty. Do it today. Watch the webinar. Trust me when I say it is a legit route to financial freedom. trydaytrading.com/Monty. All right, 7:18 on the Monty Show. I think the biggest story in sports this morning probably is this Ime Udoka thing.
Yeah.
But finally, there is justice in Phoenix. This situation with Robert Sarver, and now that he is selling the team, I think justice has been served. Now, he's still got to sell the team. And if you didn't hear the update, Robert Sarver, the owner of the Suns and the Phoenix Mercury, a year-long investigation into inappropriate workplace conduct and atmosphere found that Robert Sarver routinely sexually harassed female employees, used the N-word, abused employees by doing things like putting goats in his general manager's office.
That's an issue.
Who pooped everywhere and destroyed the furniture, routinely created an atmosphere of hostility and uncomfortableness for his employees. Now he has agreed to sell the team, but only after the NBA damn near gave him a pass, and only after PayPal and sources last night told us that Footprint, the naming rights partner for the Phoenix Suns Arena in Arizona, both said, hey, we're going to exercise a morals and reputation clause and pull out of our agreements with the Suns if Robert Sarver does not sell the team.
How about that?
So yesterday it was announced by Bobby Sarver that he is selling the team. And the statement he made is a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I give him credit for coming out and talking about it, but he's talking about being a victim, Jake, and it's quite ridiculous to me. And you see it on the ticker, by the way, saying that it became painfully clear that forgiveness was no longer an offer.
And right there, that part right there, whatever good I have done or could still do is outweighed by the things I have said in the past.
Yeah, it's
Is
ridiculous.
that a joke? Are
Come
you
on now.
kidding me? That you're trying to sit here up on your pedestal that's at your house instead of at your office at the arena now. You're trying to sit here and tell me that you think it's ridiculous that you should have to sell the team because people won't forgive your past and allow you to do good now, and that this is cancel culture, because that's essentially what he's saying in the statement, that he feels unjustly forced to sell the team. This is exactly why he needs to sell the team. He does not understand how much he's affected people's lives, and I think that this is the problem I have. So let me get this right. You're going to sell a professional sports franchise that Forbes has just valued at $1.8 billion. So let's just be conservative. Oh, you got $1.4 billion. Wow. Cry me a river. I know that, you're going to have to get on food stamps, right? Oh, no, that's just your average American. You don't have to worry about money issues. You don't have to worry about the struggle that is inflation. That's not your problem right now, and that's my problem with this guy. Not only did you do what you did in the office, you're now going to release a statement and try to cry a river about the fact that you have to sell the team and people are being unfair to you. That's my problem with this guy, and that's why I'm frustrated with the NBA on this particular topic, because the NBA, to your point, what you just said, is trying to give him a free pass.
Yeah, and as you see, we put Robert Sarver's statement on the screen, and here's the part. You're in trouble when somebody starts a statement that says, as a man of faith.
Makes me want to puke.
Okay, right there, this statement's not going in the right direction. So as a man of faith,
you're going to drop N-bombs all over the office.
So wait, let me get this right. As a man of faith, so you're saying, what, you're a Christian or you have a God that you believe in? Well, then why are you using the N-word repeatedly? Why are you sexually harassing women by commenting on their physical attributes, allegedly? Like, what? That's what Jesus told you to do as a man of faith. So anytime I see it, in all honesty, anytime you see somebody say, well, as a man of faith, okay, now we're in trouble.
Like, come on, dude.
Are you being serious? And even better than that, I love that he continues, I believe in atonement and the path to forgiveness.
Oh.
I expected that the commissioner's 1-year suspension would provide the time for me to focus, make amends, and remove my personal controversy from the teams that I and so many fans love. Oh, wait, there's more. But in our current unforgiving climate, it has become painfully clear that is no longer possible, that whatever good I have done or could still do is outweighed by things I have said in the past. For those reasons, I am beginning the process of seeking buyers for the Suns and the Mercury.
Shut the hell up, man.
Robert Sarver, the owner of the Suns and Mercury. Come on, dude. Like, you are...
Do you see the tone? Do you see what I mean? The tone in that statement is what I just have such an issue with, dude. Like, your tone is...
It's so
like,
ridiculous.
Oh, my God. The suspension would have given me time to find clarity in my life. And as a God-seeking man, I'll finally decide to stop dropping N-bombs all over the office when Monty Williams steps into my office. Like, dude, this is the problem. And I know I'm just ranting here and I'm being negative on the guy, but I don't know when it became okay to have these expectations that you can just walk around saying whatever the hell you want to people as the owner of a business or a team or whatever, and you think that that's just not going to be a problem. You think that when you're a high-profile, I guess, person, because he's not a celebrity, certainly, but he's also not a player. He just owns the team. When you're a high-profile figure like that, you can't do that, man. I
agree.
And then, so you can't do that, but then to expect that people are just going to be like, oh, well, hey, man, take your $1 billion, go to the Bahamas for a year, and then come back, and you will have forgotten, and we'll have forgiven you. That's essentially what he's saying.
I look at this situation with Robert Sarver in Phoenix. This was so poorly handled by the NBA. And I understand they fined him the max amount of money. I understand it's a business. He's a billionaire. But he's also a misogynist, a racist, a terrible person who cannot own an NBA franchise. And you let that happen. How do you, and maybe this is in some way, shape, or form similar to Ime Udoka.
Yeah.
Right? Because what do we have with Robert Sarver? We have a guy who cannot control his urges with women.
That's ridiculous.
You have a guy that routinely commented on the appearance in these reports in this investigation. He routinely commented on the appearance and the physical attributes of female employees.
Yeah.
So here we have another guy falling at the feet of a woman. And it's amazing to me. You're a billionaire. And the other thing I think, what did you say to me in the car yesterday about the sale of the Suns? Well, let's not feel so bad for this guy because he is going to walk away with $1 billion in profit. By selling the Suns and the Mercury, he's owned them for well over a decade.
Yeah, I want to say, and I'd have to verify this number, but I read something while we were still in Phoenix on doing the show in Phoenix. And there was a time where an article came out that said that Robert Sarver had gotten into this organization, I think for like $200 million or something like that. By sports numbers, obviously that's a pretty low number. So that's why I say I'm not going to feel sorry for this guy. I'm not going to sit here and say that he should be let off easy or that somehow I feel bad that he's been, forced to sell the team essentially. Like, you're going to walk away with $1 billion, and the fact of the matter is that you're going to have more time with your family than you already did. You're never going to have to worry about things like inflation or things like, the things that the average American struggles with. And that's my biggest problem when I kind of zoom out and stop talking about this from a basketball office ethics conversation and start going to just a life conversation.
Robert Sarver led an ownership group that paid $400 million for the Suns.
$400 million.
It's worth $1.8 billion. Now, how much of that goes into his pocket? My guess is he's going to make close to $800 million on the sale of this team. I do not feel sorry for him in any way, shape, or form. I just don't. And I think when you look at what we have going on with a guy like Robert Sarver, with a guy like Ime Udoka, it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Dude, it's absolutely crazy to me. And I look at it and
that's why I say you notice that sexual indiscretion is not biased, right? Rich, white owner, really super successful black head coach. Like, it's not biased. These are decisions that are being made by powerful individuals, and they're paying the price. And it's a shame because, again, as I said, like with Ime Udoka, I respected the hell out of that guy. I was one of the people saying, hey, dude came in after Brad Stevens failed, and Brad Stevens did a hell of a job. Like, let's not get it confused. He did a hell of a job, but he failed. They didn't win a championship with that core.
So he failed upward, and now he runs
the team. Right? And by the way, it should be said, this happened under his watch. Like, let's not beat around that bush either. This happened under Brad Stevens' watch. And I don't care. I'm not sitting here saying Brad Stevens endorsed it or maybe he didn't even know about it. But the fact is it happened.
Yeah, I think it's rough. And by the way, there's an argument in the comments about whether Ime Udoka is married. He's in a long-time relationship with an actress, Nia.
Bro.
Are we Nia Long?
You really want to have a discussion about whether he's married or not, and that should change the conversation about the fact that he cheated on her. Come on, man. Come on, be better.
I don't.
Be better.
Renee Rokas says, are they? When is Robert Kraft going to pay the price? Same thing. What punishment and granted, reputation damage.
But why did Robert Kraft not get in trouble?
Because the police didn't do their job.
So Robert Kraft never actually did anything. We all know he did, right? Like, everybody, the public knows he did. But the video never came out, right? Never saw the light of day. And that's because the cops didn't do their job. This is not in question. Robert Sarver, not in question. Udoka, not in question.
Breaking news. According to Shams, the Utah Jazz and Detroit Pistons are in serious trade talks to send Boyan Bogdanovich for Kelly Olynyk an additional salary.
God.
The Detroit Pistons.
Kelly Olynyk.
And this is what I worried about.
Okay, see, this is one that I don't like.
This is what I worry about. Is Shams is saying the Utah Jazz and Detroit Pistons are in serious talks on a trade, sending Boyan Bogdanovich for Kelly Olynyk an additional salary. Like, why? That makes no sense to me at all.
You're salary dumping. That's
in any way, shape, or form.
You're salary dumping. That's what that is.
That's crazy.
You're moving him.
And you know what? I will again say about the Lakers. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, clearly the Lakers are there's a reason the deal's not getting done, and my guess is that it's because the Lakers. It's because Danny Ainge wants 3 picks in the Lakers deal, and the Lakers have 2, so they have to find a third team, and they haven't been able to do that yet. So I don't know. I think this is where as a Jazz fan, I could understand if you were frustrated by this news, because this is not a great look. Like, Boyan Bogdanovich was a staple in your organization, is technically still a staple in your organization, but frankly, he doesn't have a role on this team. There's not really... How are you going to sell that Boyan Bogdanovich is going to be on the floor with these guys? Because he's not. We've been telling you they're going to move him. So I don't know, man. This is the pain train you're going to be on for a year, frankly. I mean, if we're just being brutally honest about it, some of these deals are going to have to happen to get guys like Boyan off the roster. But if you're going to move Boyan, how are you not moving Mike and JC? You know what I mean? Like, if we're being honest about it, like, how are you not just moving the last 3 veterans on the team and just going completely young, run and gun, Houston Rockets style basketball?
I will again ask, what are the LA Lakers doing?
I don't know. I just said they need a third team. Like, Danny Ainge wants 3 picks out of that Laker deal, and the Lakers have 2.
I don't understand. This hurts my head. If you are the LA Lakers, Boyan Bogdanovich is the perfect fit. And maybe this is Danny Ainge's modus operandi. I don't know. You had the Knicks in a deal that made a lot of sense for the Knicks, and for some reason that deal didn't happen. Now you have the Lakers in a deal where it makes a lot of sense, and all of a sudden the Pistons show up for Boyan Bogdanovich?
Oh, what a loser!
What sense does it make for the Pistons to be pursuing Boyan Bogdanovich?
Yeah.
And what sense does it make to take back Kelly Olynyk and salary in that deal?
I don't know.
How does that help the Utah Jazz
the
at
why
all?
Behind it is not great. I totally agree. I mean, it doesn't. The logic behind it is not great. At least with the Lakers, you could understand. Like you were just saying, like Boyan's a great fit for the Lakers and LeBron and company. But I don't know, man. I don't love the process of trading these guys, because I really enjoyed Bogdanovich as a Jazz man. I didn't really particularly enjoy Conley as a Jazz man. JC, it goes without saying, I think everybody loves JC.
This feels like a smokescreen to me. I don't understand this in any way, shape, or form. I told you that 2 days ago, I believe we told you that the Lakers have been chasing Boyan Bogdanovich, and I think they would love to do a Boyan, Clarkson, Malik Beasley deal. Boyan Bogdanovich is a perfect fit for the Lakers offense. And I'm trying to figure out if, and we've heard all kinds of questions, and sources have told me repeatedly that the Lakers are trying to only trade 1 first-round pick of their 2. They'd like to hang. You're trying to win a championship with LeBron James. That draft pick is almost meaningless to you. Trade it. This is the mental part of the NBA that I don't understand. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that Leon Rose let Donovan Mitchell get away. That Leon Rose allowed Donovan Mitchell to put on any other uniform but the Knick uniform. It makes no sense to me that the Lakers are going to let Boyan Bogdanovich.
Now they're finalizing a deal for Boyan Bogdanovich. So this deal is going to get done, it looks like.
It's a Woj bomb.
You're for real right now. You're trading Boyan Bogdanovich to the Pistons for essentially Kelly Olynyk and some salary. There's a third player or second player there, but
I don't. This is ridiculous to me, and I don't understand why this trade makes sense. I mean, listen, Kelly Olynyk, you brought in, Cody Zeller. I get it.
You're bringing in filler guys on a bad team. That's what you're doing.
And are you telling me that Kelly Olynyk is the value that you're going to get for Boyan Bogdanovich? This is a brutal trade for the Jazz.
I do. So this is the first time for me where, I kind of feel like Danny asking for too much is going to bite him in the ass, because the report came out that he was asking for 3 picks in the Lakers situation, that they were going to move Bogdanovich and either JC or Conley, obviously, in that package, but Danny wanted 3 picks out of that, and that the Lakers needed to go and find a third team. So
this is a terrible trade.
So you went from getting 2 picks, because remember the initial offer. Like, let's not forget what the initial offer was. The initial offer was Bogdanovich and JC for 2 first-round picks, which the Lakers have sitting there in their stable. I would have been fine with that. I mean, maybe I undervalue these two, but I think in the current climate, with everything you've done this summer, like, let's not make a bonehead trade and get off track here. I would have been fine with 2 first-round picks for Bogdanovich and, whoever of the other 2 you wanted to trade, Conley or JC. But when I see my Twitter feed light up and Woj just tweeting, the Pistons are finalizing a trade to acquire Boyan for Kelly Olynyk and Saban Lee, or Saban Lee, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, my apologies, and obviously some salary to make it work. That to me is crazy, because now you've gone from
there it is,
from picks. And now it's official.
Yeah, one of the top NBA guys I talked to just sent me a text that all it says is it's done. I mean, this is a terrible trade.
That to me is frustrating.
This is a terrible trade.
What are the comments saying?
I don't understand this in any way, shape, or form. And if somebody wants to enlighten me as to what sense this trade makes, I would love to know, because I just don't get it.
I just think the contrast between the 2 trades is what I don't understand. Like you went from so let's wind the clocks back. And I want to do this to make my point really clear. So Royce O'Neal, 1st-round pick. Rudy Gobert, 4 first-round picks. Donovan Mitchell, I believe it was 3 picks that you got in players. So right there, what are you at? What is that, 8, 9 picks?
Yeah.
Right there. Now you're in a place where you obviously have to move some of these other veterans because they don't fit with the timeline you're on and the place the organization is in. We totally get it. No issue with that. Everyone's on the same page. But then you get this Laker conversation going, and I'm like, all right, Danny's going to put the cherry on top of this offseason right here. You picked up a guy in Cody Zeller because you needed a filler big. Totally get it. No issues. We went from Boyan and JC or Boyan and Mike for 2 first-rounders to Boyan Bogdanovich for Kelly Olynyk and some money. That's a problem, bro. That's not good.
Yeah, and Saban Lee's a role player. I mean, he's not a guy of consequence. I don't understand this.
You're not really doing, and I know that Danny probably doesn't really care too much if we're being honest about it, but you're not exactly doing Boyan Bogdanovich any favors. Who would be surprised if the Pistons went and traded him again, and just moved it along? Who would be surprised? I wouldn't be surprised. So I don't know, man. I got to be honest. I don't love this trade from all sides of it. I just don't enjoy it at all.
Are you telling me that Boyan Bogdanovich's value is Kelly Olynyk and Saban Lee? Saban Lee, a 23-year-old that plays 15 minutes a night and gives you 5 points a game. That's Boyan Bogdanovich's value.
And let's say this. That's what it looks like to us. Even if Saban Lee projected to be a 35-minute a night 3-and-D sniper that was 23 years old. Let's say that he projected to be that. That to me is still not enough because, again, you're not trying to pick up players for now. You're trying to offload your veteran salary for picks and future so you can go and make trades to get the guys you actually want. Kelly Olynyk's not going to be here when they win a championship. Let's be very clear, right? Cody Zeller's not going to be here when they win a championship. So that's why I say I just don't know why the pivot from the Laker deal to this.
I don't get it. I don't understand it in any way, shape, or form. You could have made a larger deal with the Lakers, and I think you could. I don't know. Maybe the Lakers weren't willing to give that up. Maybe they couldn't find a third team. But the breaking news this morning, presented by TridayTrading.com/Monty on the Utah Jazz, is that the Utah Jazz have traded Boyan Bogdanovich to the Detroit Pistons for Kelly Olynyk and Saban Lee. That, according to Adrian Wojnarowski at ESPN. I hate this trade in every way, shape, and form.
I would love to be able to ask somebody about it. I'd love to be able to ask Danny what the, or even Justin Zanuck, what was the thought process?
I don't know. And now the bots are getting
downhill.
in.
See, if you would have traded him to the Lakers, the bots wouldn't have come into the chat.
I'm just saying. We need to figure this out.
Dude, I feel like this is the first time I felt this way, where I feel like the Danny ego thing, I feel like is alive and well in this trade, because Danny, I'm sure, was pushing 3 first-round picks. We know Danny's been ultra aggressive, and to this point, it's been great. I've loved the trade they've made. Obviously, like Royce, Rudy, Donnie, like you got a ton of value back for these guys.
Does this make?
But now you overstepped. Now what you said was, hey, instead of 2 for Boyan and Mike, I believe was the initial reporting out of Woj's camp. I believe it was. Now it's like, hey, we want 3 for those guys, and the Lakers aren't willing to do that. So we're going to trade them to the Pistons? No. Nope.
Hi.
Nope.
Sorry, I'm honestly, I'm trying to text my Utah Jazz guy to figure this out, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me that's what's happening. And one of the guys I talked to, it says it sets the Jazz up to have more financial freedom. Which is, listen, it's fine. I don't, and that's at what cost? Because for my money, Boyan Bogdanovich was somebody who could have brought you more in return. If the young player is what you wanted here, why Saban Lee?
Yeah.
Like what he has shown very little. He's not even the best young player on that roster. And I'm not saying to get Cade Cunningham, but you've got to do better than that. This doesn't make very, and frankly, if you're a Laker fan, you should be livid this morning. You should be absolutely livid. Joseph Call says the only thing that makes sense is that they wanted Lee and really didn't want to trade him to a Western team. Sure.
But if you think about that, and I don't disagree with you on that comment, but if we think about that for a second, from an operational standpoint of this team, are you really operating from the standpoint of, hey, I don't want to trade a guy like Bogdanovich in the Western Conference? You don't say that about guys like Bogdanovich. He's a 3-and-D sniper. He's not Donovan Mitchell. He's not Rudy Gobert. He's not, any top tier. He's not Devin Booker. He's not like any top tier talent that's going to, come back to bite you in the ass in the playoffs, right? So to me, that's why that doesn't even make sense to me either, because he's not good enough to be that guy where you're like, I don't want to trade him to this conference or that conference. That's the problem.
Yeah, I would love to understand how this is not how I want to understand this. I want to understand what are the Lakers doing. This is. I know I keep saying that, but the thing that I struggle with is you're in a position where you've got 2 players in LeBron James and Anthony Davis that need shooting, and you have not added that. And you have a team in the Jazz who are looking for first-round picks. They've got 2 of the better three-point shooters in the league right now in Malik Beasley and Boyan Bogdanovich. Those are guys that can knock down the three. And if you needed Jordan Clarkson, certainly that could have been had. But on a very baseline level, you could have made that deal with the Jazz. Yet now the Jazz turn around and trade Boyan Bogdanovich to the Detroit Pistons for Kelly Olynyk and Saban Lee in a deal that doesn't bring you draft capital. It brings you a young player that, frankly, has had a chance on a really crappy team and has not produced in Saban Lee. This makes no sense for the Jazz. It makes perfect sense. You just turned Kelly Olynyk into Boyan Bogdanovich if you're the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, they're good enough to justify this deal, right? Like, the Pistons are a team that are pushing for a playoff opportunity. That's what they're pushing for.
There's going to have to be, but there won't be a press conference. Nobody will ask a question, but
nope.
This does not make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, next question.
And it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if pick swaps or if there's an issue with what the Jazz were willing to give and get in terms of draft picks.
Oh, I think clearly that's what's happened. Like, and again, I mean, this is all speculation and just reading the situation with the information we have, right? But to me, what makes perfect sense is Danny wanted too much. That to me is what makes sense, but I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's get your thoughts in here because this makes my head hurt. Jeremy Bolton says, in all seriousness, which probably means he's not serious, and I know you won't believe me, but I would rather have traded Bogey for Caruso. Caruso brings toughness and grit. Just kidding. Caruso sucks ass and his headband smells.
That's not what we're about.
Thank you. Down Up Down says, bad players with 2-year deals. Jazz barely saved any money. No picks. I don't understand what Ainge is thinking.
Agreed.
Is there more here? Is there more here? That's
there
all
better
I can
be.
think. I mean,
there better be.
The only thing that makes sense is that if you are going to make another deal today or tomorrow, that's the only thing that makes sense, because now, I mean, you have a hodgepodge now. Like you've got a bunch of dudes that have hair issues because Kelly Olynyk wears a ponytail. You've got a bunch of, and Cody Zeller, you know, no offense, bro, but like your hair's not great. Like you've got a bunch of unserviceable older big guys now. That doesn't fit the model of a tank rebuild thing.
Man, I hope there's a bigger deal coming.
That's really the only thing that makes sense here.
And I see the comments about the In Danny We Trust stuff. I will keep the faith through the end of the weekend.
Yeah, Cody Strickland said, what happened to In Danny and what happened to In Ainge We Trust? I don't, frankly, this is because I don't understand this deal. This is a head-scratching, it's a shocking deal. Kelly Olynyk is the Detroit Pistons just turned Kelly Olynyk into Boyan Bogdanovich.
Pause, bro, pause.
What sense does that make? What are we cap spacing? Like, what are we do? I agree with you. It's a salary dump.
It's what it is.
It has to be. Like, I just don't. I don't get it. Yeah, you know what? Blood of the Panthers said Detroit fleeced. I agree. Freezy Breezy says, I love it. Are you a Pistons fan? Like, what do you love about it? You know, like Christopher Leal says, does Olynyk get traded?
I mean,
I don't know.
So there's two ways this is going to go, obviously, right? This isn't rocket science. They're either going to make a bigger deal, and that's why they had to make this deal, or you're not going to do anything, and this is a terrible trade, right? If you make a bigger deal and you know, you had to do this for salary and structure and all that, then okay, understood. But if this is just a head-up deal and you do nothing else, then this is just not good basketball.
Yeah, this is a mistake, and I just don't like. I'm waiting for the bomb to drop that there's another deal here. Like I mean,
it's funny. It's almost expected, right? Like you're like, all right. So Danny has been basically perfect this offseason. I mean, can we all agree on that? Like Danny Ainge has essentially had a clinical offseason. Like trades, way too much value coming back to the Jazz, fleecing people. Okay, great. You've done awesome so far. Totally with that. But that awesomeness, I guess, or that in Danny we trust feeling runs out pretty quick when you make deals like this. And we're just left to sit here and wonder, because it's like, all right, yeah, if you don't do anything else with Kelly Olynyk or Cody Zeller or whatever, then yeah, you do have a hodgepodge of guys. You do just have sort of a random roster.
Yeah,
so I don't know, man.
I mean, the Pistons are now a playoff caliber team. I mean, this is a bottom of the playoff ladder Pistons team. I'm shocked by this. Like, I don't understand it. So again, if you're just tuning in, breaking news this morning on the show, as the Utah Jazz have traded Boyan Bogdanovich to the Detroit Pistons for Kelly Olynyk and Saban Lee. And it's not even that Olynyk sucks, because he doesn't suck. He's not a bad player.
Yeah.
But I can only think you're doing this to flip him. That's all I can think of. This does not feel like a deal where you're like, yeah, he's a serviceable big.
Yeah, he's going to suit up for us.
I mean, I look at, and that's a really good point. Another guy just texted me and said Olynyk is one of Danny Ainge's favorite players. Okay, cool, bro. What good is he on this roster? I mean, that's the question that you have to ask yourself. Well, that's true too. I mean, the Lakers are dumb. The Lakers are dumb.
Lakers are dumb.
This is mind-numbing
Breaking
to
news.
Me. This is if the LA Lakers truly did not do this deal because they're worried about draft compensation. This is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. Like, I am. Look, I'm down with what Leon's doing in New York. I truly am. I get it. The biggest question I have is, look at the major market teams in this league. You look at the Lakers, they're in turmoil. You look at the Knicks, they're in turmoil. You look at the Celtics, they're in turmoil. At some point, one of these guys has to get this right.
Yeah.
Because Golden State is running circles around this league and continues to do so. They're printing money at the Chase Center. They're paying guys $50, $60 million. And you're trading Kelly Olynyk. The Knicks are passing on Donovan Mitchell over Grimes and an extra draft pick.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. Meanwhile, the Pistons are now a playoff team. The Cavs are a mid-table team in the East, probably better than that. And the Knicks are just sitting here, and the Lakers are just sitting here watching crappy teams get better and move up the ladder.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
The incompetence in NBA front offices is amazing to me.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. And I'd love to. I don't. I will never understand the logic in what teams like the Lakers are doing.
Yeah.
Danny can afford to make this trade simply because he has so much draft capital. So much draft capital that it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't matter. As we talk about breaking news in the NBA this morning, the Utah Jazz have made another significant deal, and this time it is Boyan Bogdanovich going back east to the Detroit Pistons. Kelly Olynyk and Saben Lee are your compensation. That's all you got for Boyan Bogdanovich.
It's distasteful to even speak it. That's all you got for Boyan Bogdanovich.
It's hard to say it out loud.
Yeah, I mean, it to me, Boyan Bogdanovich has tremendous value in a league that's all about the 3-and-D wing player. And yes, I have criticized Boyan for his slow first step and the fact that he can't really play good wing defense. I still have that complaint about Bogdanovich, but the fact is, on the proper roster, he can shoot 45% from the corner. And that's what you need him to shoot. That's what his role on the Detroit Pistons is going to be, because when you've got guys like Cade Cunningham and Sadiq Bey driving the paint, yeah, dude's going to get a lot of open looks in the corner.
If this was Kelly Olynyk and Sadiq Bey, I'd be like, okay, now we're cooking with gas.
I can see how Cade Cunningham and Sadiq Bey would be a nice tandem, because you're going to trade. You know, obviously you move Bogey out, you're going to move Mike and JC. Life's going to be good. Totally get it. But that's not what this is. And I have to agree with you. I think your best point is I'm left feeling like there's some kind of bombshell coming. Like Danny's part of like an 18-team trade where he's got a salary balance and do a bunch of stuff. And that's why he had to make this deal. I really hope that it's not that the Lakers are idiots and didn't do this deal over one draft pick or two draft picks, and Danny went with option B. That's what I hope it's not.
All I can say is, how is this all you got? How is this all you got for Boyan Bogdanovich? Help me are you telling me that Kelly Olynyk and Saben Lee, that's the true established value of Boyan Bogdanovich, and no other team offered something better than that? I could have won up that with like a pube throw.
Is that a real question?
Throwing a pump for their basketballs from... Are you serious?
I want more.
I am so upset about this deal. If this is it, if this is all that they're going to do, and this is a really bad trade.
Hell out of here with that.
Yeah, this is a really bad trade.
Yeah.
I'm sure the spinsters will be out talking about Danny's the doctor, and no, sorry, man, this is not the doctor making performing surgery. This is malpractice by the doctor. Like I don't get it. I truly don't get it. Let's see. Jeremy Severi says Saben Lee was drafted by the Jazz in 2020 and traded to the Pistons, and now we take him back. What the fart noise, please? He wants a fart noise, please.
He wants a fart noise?
That's what he's asking for.
Okay, I'll get on that. Yeah, I'll work on that.
Like, this is crazy. Yeah, absolutely right. Down Up Down says, how did Royce get a first rounder, but Boyan couldn't? Like,
keep it real.
What alternate reality are we living in?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, there's your fart noises.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Neville 93 says poop noise. Yes. Apparently, Danny doesn't like big market teams unless he can fleece them. Apparently not. I just don't know. Jacob DeLamba says Bojan choke a game winner.
Yeah, well.
But
But that doesn't
in all
change that he
seriousness,
should be worth 2 picks or a pick.
In all seriousness, Boyan Bogdanovich is a pretty good NBA player.
Yeah.
Boyan Bogdanovich, is he a 1 or a 2? No, he's not. Is he the guy you want standing in the corner shooting threes? He is. Did he miss that shot in Dallas? He did. That doesn't mean that he can't give you 20 points a night and knock down threes, because he can, and he does. It doesn't mean that he doesn't make the Lakers a playoff team, because I think he does.
Yeah.
Well, he would have, because now he's a Detroit Piston. Like, how did you
It's a terrible trade.
Whoever
dude.
said that about, like, how did you get a first-round pick for Royce and you got Ben Gay for... What are we doing?
We did what we did.
You got towels and some Gatorade powder for Boyan Bogdanovich. And I'm not sure that
Kelly, like the idea that Danny may have done this deal because Kelly Olynyk is his favorite player is crazy to me. Like if it ever comes out that that's true, that would be very frustrating.
This will be interesting to see how this washes.
That's an issue.
This will be very interesting. This is a great deal for Detroit. If you're a Piston, where's Caleb Harrison? If you're a Pistons fan, this is a great day for you, because I think Boyan Bogdanovich makes you better. Jeremy Bolton says this deal is so bad, even the bots are having to say in it. Yes, that's exactly right. More bots, but I took care of that. Warren Franklin says now y'all feel Nick's pain with the Mitchell situation. Yes, absolutely right.
But here's the deal with that though. Like I get what you're saying about that, but at least with the Knicks situation, you could kind of understand it. Like, okay, Danny wanted 4. Leon didn't want to give up 4. Like, Danny wanted X, Y, and Z, and Leon just didn't like that price. Okay, I can get down with that, mainly because the price was so steep that you were in this, like, cliff jumping situation where you were either going to take the step off and you were going to risk everything and hope that Donnie could bring you a championship, or you were going to pull back and you were going to say, okay, we're going to try a different angle. I could get down with that.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. And you traded, and if you're just tuning in this morning, the Utah Jazz have traded Boyan Bogdanovich to the Detroit Pistons for Kelly Olynyk and Saban Lee, according to Adrian Wojnarowski at ESPN. It is a shocking deal. It is absolutely a shocking deal that this is the deal that was done. That's crazy. Jacob DeLambo says Westbrook coming to the dried up Salt Lake. Maybe. But how do you make that deal now without Boyan Bogdanovich? I mean, that's a big salary to trade.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how you. I mean, I don't know. Like, I look at what's left on the. I mean, is Jordan Clarkson now a starter on this team?
Kind of have to wonder. He won't be here. I don't know, man. If you're willing to do these type of deals, I don't have a lot of confidence that JC is going to be here.
I am shocked by this deal. I am really, really shocked by this.
And I don't want it to sound like we're putting a dark cloud over the whole offseason or anything. He's had a great offseason. You know, I mean, the organization in the big picture is in a great spot. But this isn't just that we disagree with this deal. This is a widely agreed upon bad deal. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, you're left with if and understand this, if you're trading for Russell Westbrook, the only way that deal happens is if you trade Mike Conley's 22.6. You're not going to trade Colin Sexton at this point. Lauri Markkanen, Malik Beasley. You know, Beasley's making 15.5. That's what is that? 37.
Yeah,
you're still $10 million short.
Yeah.
You know, like, are you sending them Talon Horton-Tucker back? Like, I mean, Rudy Gay. Like, I don't know that you have the balls to make a Westbrook trade now.
Yeah,
you don't. And this is shocking, man, in every way, shape, and form.
And for those of you tuning in, what happened is they traded Boyan Bogdanovich to the Pistons for essentially a rack of basketballs and Kelly Olynyk and Saban Lee.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that. I mean, I think Boyan has a lot better value. We've talked about it a lot on the show here, presented by the Advocates Utah Injury Attorneys. Find them online at utahadvocates.com. When you're in a wreck or you're in an accident and you need help, you have got to go to the right guy the first time, and that is all of them at the Advocates, the best injury attorneys in the country. Did you get hurt at work? Did you get in a car accident? Did you slip and fall? Did you trip on a sidewalk? Call the Advocates. Find them online, UtahAdvocates.com. You can chat with them on their website. The best part about the Advocates is you're not reaching into your pocket to scratch them a check because, frankly, you don't pay the Advocates until they win your case. There's no big retainers. There's no consultation fees. All of their consultations are free. They'll help you defer your medical bills. Get your life back on track after an accident by going to UtahAdvocates.com. Breaking news this morning on the Utah Jazz. They have traded Boyan Bogdanovich to the Detroit Pistons. Kelly Olynyk, Saban Lee comes back in return. I don't know. Like, and I guess we'll just leave it to the commenters because I feel like I am probably making too much out of it. But this is a bad deal. This is a bad deal. Edwin says maybe there's a rule that one team can't have half the league's draft picks at one time. Maybe. Kenai Johnson says, I really hope Danny has something else coming because I'm not seeing a starting five yet. Well, and that's what I was saying earlier. Like, what is your starting five right now? If you look at what's left here, Mike Conley's your starting point guard.
Colin Sexton's next to him.
I would guess Colin Sexton starts.
Colin Sexton's definitely a starter.
Is Lauri Markkanen your 3?
Yeah. Yep.
Is Lauri Markkanen your 4 and Malik Beasley's your 3? I don't know. What about Talon Horton-Tucker?
Nah, he's a bench guy.
What about Jared Vanderbilt?
Starter.
He's your 4 then.
He's a starter.
Right? Who are you starting at center? Are you starting Walker Kessler? Probably not.
Yeah, you have guys there, though. Zeller, now Olynyk.
But are you telling, okay, Cody Zeller starts at center. What are you saying to Kelly Olynyk? Are you a role player, a bench player on this team?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You have options. They have a starting 5 they can put together.
By the way, we still haven't gotten any clarity on where Jared Butler sits. You know, I'd be very interested
you know
to
where
see.
he sits? He sits in the G League at the end of that bench.
Yeah.
That's where he sits. And it's really frustrating and sad because now we don't have to talk about Jared Butler because Colin Sexton is here.
Man. I mean, if you start Conley and Sexton, I mean, obviously
I don't mind that.
Jordan's your sixth man. I mean, I don't. Are you gonna have a better bench than a starting 5? This doesn't make a lot of sense. He can't be done. I'm sorry. This has to be a trade that facilitates something else. You know, like it just is.
The Woj just tweeting the season-long suspension is most likely going to be announced today for Ime Udoka.
Wow. That's crazy. This is going to be a crazy week of NBA news. Ime Udoka, the head coach of the Boston Celtics, is in a long-term relationship with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently he has had a...
Joe Mazzulla will be the interim head coach. So This is coming down now.
Ime Udoka, the head coach of the Boston Celtics, had an extra... It's not even extramarital. He's not married. He had an affair with a Boston Celtics employee. And we heard yesterday first Woj reported that it was a violation of the team's conduct policy. Then it came out later that it was an affair with he had a sexual relationship with a Boston Celtics staffer.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to suspend Ime Udoka, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, 1 season. The full season, Ime Udoka will be suspended. That makes me think this was a subordinate. It makes me think that he was... This is not good. Now, I also want to clarify that all reports have said this was a consensual relationship.
Yeah, that's a big factor.
Yeah, this was not, sexual assault. This was not sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Ime Udoka, the head coach of the Celtics, had a consensual sexual relationship with a Boston Celtics staff member. He is in a long-term relationship. They are not married. He is in a long-term relationship with an actress, Ime Udoka is.
Yeah.
And I'm intentionally not saying her name because I just don't think it should be out there. But Ime Udoka is going to be, according to Adrian Wojnarowski now, suspended for the entire season by the Celtics for violating their personal conduct policy in the organization.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a stiff penalty to pay. It's heavy, but at the same time, I almost feel like he's lucky to have his job. Like, if we're being serious.
Yeah, and that's what I come back to. How on earth are you telling me that he did not get suspended? He did not get fired for this? How is that possible? Like, yeah. I would love to understand. In the NBA, I'm telling you, the NBA's got a problem, dude. And they are not, and this is just my opinion, they are not taking this seriously enough.
What? When you say this, what do you dudes in power violating their power?
That the NBA did not force Robert Sarver to sell the Suns.
Facts.
The NBA is like, you have all of these issues around women, off-court conduct problems.
Yes.
For years on end here. Even just look at Robert Sarver. This is not new. This situation with Sarver in Phoenix is a decade old. He's a jerk. He has treated people poorly for years, and they've done nothing about it.
Yeah.
Now it comes out, they do this investigation, it comes out that he routinely used the N-word.
Yeah.
Routinely commented on women's physical attributes and appearance.
Yeah.
And you did nothing about this, and you knew about it. And you didn't force him to sell the team. Footprint and PayPal reportedly are the ones that forced him to sell the team. They're two biggest sponsors. Like, it's crazy to me. I don't know. According to sources, the relationship with Ime Udoka and this employee has been described as a consensual relationship, but the organization prohibits intimacy between coworkers. It is alleged, not factual, the staff member that he had an affair with was married. Was married. And that's where the term extramarital came in. This is really.
So they were just two peas in a pod. They were just like, yeah, we're doing this, and I'm married and you're not married, but in a long time relationship. Like, yeah, I mean, this is two people making a decision, and now they're going to pay for it. And I have to say, the whole conversation around, hey, well, what's her penalty versus Ime's? And it's like, I don't really care what her penalty is, because Ime ultimately is in control of the situation. And when you're the face of the franchise, you're a head coach for the Boston Celtics, you're that kind of figure for an organization. Yeah, I just still maintain he's lucky to have his job. That's what I truly believe that. And
I think we need to be careful with the allegations being reported here. But you know what? NYCE 718, I agree with you. And Jake, you said this earlier. Brad Stevens should step down from his executive role and head back to the bench. That I think Brad Stevens shouldn't step down and head back to the bench. Brad Stevens should be fired for this.
Yes.
Like this is a shocking situation.
Yeah, Brad, you got a clean house now, dude.
Yeah, and I happen to know Wick Grossbeck a little bit, one of the owners of the Celtics. This is not something he would stand for. Wick is a guy that is a high character dude.
Makes me want to puke.
We will only work with high character guys. You got to start questioning Brad Stevens now. Are you telling me that you didn't know this affair was happening? And if you didn't know, are you not being derelict in your duty?
Because let's spend a moment talking about Ime and Brad Stevens' relationship. You realize those two guys work hand in hand together, right? Like, they literally, the head coach, and I don't remember what Brad Stevens' official title is, but basically head of basketball operations for the Boston Celtics. Those two guys work hand in hand together. Anytime Brad's going to make a trade or there's going to be a shift in player personnel or whatever, those two have to be on the same page about it so it gets executed on the floor. So these guys work together every day. This isn't something where, and hey, maybe Brad was out of the loop. I don't know. This obviously, the stuff that happens behind the scenes when it comes to, extramarital affairs.
How do you fire this guy?
Yeah,
I
would have just dropped a hammer on him and said, hey, yeah.
This is unprecedented. That suspending a coach for an entire season, I don't know that that's ever been done before. This is an unprecedented situation. And frankly, I got to believe it's happened in the past and we didn't know about it because there weren't things like his, Ime Udoka's longtime girlfriend tweeting her sorrow. Come on now. And by the way, there are allegations that Ime Udoka is known for this in previous spots.
Well,
How did you not? Come on.
This whole situation will
Come
obviously get deeper and evolve. And Ime
Whoa,
Udoka's,
easy.
Hey, I know. We're all
You
children
need to
at
be
heart.
talking about getting deeper.
Yeah, we're all children at heart. I know, but I'm just saying, if it comes out that in his past this has happened before, that's a bad look.
The Monty Show, breaking news presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Papa Murphy's Pizza, take and bake at its finest. Trust me when I say the only way to do pizza at home the right way is by going and downloading the Papa Murphy's app. Order it right on your phone. And, hey, make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your order of $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Monty25, M-O-N-T-Y, Monty25. Order the pizza the way that I do. Please stop being a sheep. No, I can't. Stop following everybody else's example and using red sauce. No, friends. When you order Papa Murphy's Pizza, put barbecue sauce on that crust, please. Barbecue sauce, little bit of onion mixture, lots of mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
Give me the mushroom. Give me the onion. Give me the green onion. Got to have green onion on top. Damn right. Large pizza. By the way, when you make that order, don't forget they give you rewards. So last time we ordered pizza, we got free take and bake cookie dough. It was amazing. Chocolate chip cookies from Papa Murphy's. Amazing.
Bomb.
Monty25 is your promo code at papamurphyspizza.com. If you're just tuning in, we are swimming in breaking news.
Yeah.
The Boyan Bogdanovich trade. Boyan Bogdanovich is a Detroit Piston. And I mean, I don't even know what else you say about that.
Yeah, I mean, what you say about it is it's a rough trade. I mean, I think that it like I was saying earlier, I mean, it's, you're going one of two ways with this deal. This deal is either garbage and just a salary dump, and that's just what it is, or they did this deal because there's a bigger deal in the works that they had to free up some space or get particular players or whatever. I mean, you had to make a transaction to make the transaction you actually wanted to make, and that's what I'm really hoping is the case here.
Well, and the question that I would ask you is, I mean, look at what Danny Ainge has done this summer. Do you believe that Danny Ainge has his team going in the right direction?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got the team going in the right direction, but the frustrating part is that you went from, in my opinion, having an A-plus offseason to now, B-plus, just average type of situation if this deal turns out to be just a garbage deal. I'm never a fan of that. Like, I would almost rather have kept Bogdanovich than traded him for Kelly Olynyk and Saban Lee and some salary to make it work. Like, it's even hard for me to say it. I mean, it feels like it's just not adequate. It feels like it's not enough. It feels like you came up short in this deal. And I'll be really curious as time goes on and maybe it comes out, I don't know. But if the Lakers turn down this deal because they didn't want to give up 2 picks for Bogdanovich and JC, let's say, that to me is really boneheaded. But my fear is, and what I think happened here, this is just my gut feeling. We don't have information on this. This is me speculating, in my opinion. But what I feel like happened in this Bogdanovich thing is that Danny and the Lakers were negotiating. Danny wanted 3 picks. He got greedy. The Lakers said, to hell with that. We're not interested in that. Move along. And so Danny had a backup plan, and this was the backup plan, and it's not a very good one. That's what I think happened here. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, and I think, it's interesting. We text a lot during the show with people that we talk to. One of the guys I talked to said that the Utah Jazz told the Phoenix Suns they had no interest in reacquiring Jay Crowder as part of a Boyan Bogdanovich trade, which is where those talks ended. So I know that Phoenix really wanted. They really wanted Boyan Bogdanovich.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the unfortunate part of that is I just don't think Phoenix had the nuts to get that deal done. I don't think they had the pieces that would have been required to acquire Boyan Bogdanovich. And I just go back and I ask the simple question. What are the LA Lakers doing? Because I don't get it. I mean, I honestly, I just don't understand it. How did you let Boyan Bogdanovich end up in Detroit and not in purple and gold? Like, that's the head shaking part of this. And I think this is akin to the New York Knicks not getting Donovan Mitchell. You had the pieces to get this deal done, and you simply chose not to make that trade. Is it the end of the world for the Knicks? No. Is this the end of the world for the LA Lakers? It kind of feels like it, because I don't feel like the Lakers have another place to go. But the bigger question here is, did Danny Ainge get enough in return for Boyan Bogdanovich? And I'm here to tell you he did not. If this is only a head-up trade and it's just these two teams and they don't have another deal, if you simply walked away, with Saban Lee and with Kelly Olynyk for Boyan Bogdanovich, this is a real waste of an opportunity.
Because it's garbage.
That's the as
What
simple
do you
as
buy
I can
into this
say it.
greedy thing? Because I think this has a lot of credence to it. Because Danny and his behavior this offseason, we've talked all about it. I mean, we've had long conversations about how Danny, with the Royce trade, the Rudy trade, and the Donovan Mitchell trade, did a great job. Like, specifically with the Rudy trade, everybody and their brother was talking about how Danny fleeced the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like, we were all talking about that. So his greed and his drive in that trade was well done. But I really feel like that's a distinct possibility that that's what happened here. Danny asked for too much. It burned the Lakers. We know they said no to Jay Crowder. And so he had to go to the Pistons. Like,
I don't know about that. I think Danny's not greedy. I don't like the word greed. I don't think in today's NBA existence, or in today's
climate,
NBA, well, climate, sure, climate's a good word. In the way that the NBA works today, there's no such thing as being greedy. There's no such thing as asking for too much. The issue is, do you have somebody willing to pay the asking price? In Donovan Mitchell's situation, the Jazz had the Cleveland Cavaliers willing to meet the asking price. Mm-hmm. So the trade was done. For Boyan Bogdanovich, if you were asking for 2 first-round picks and you were willing to take Russell Westbrook's contract in return, and I was told directly by multiple sources that's what the Jazz were talking about. The Celtics wanted more. The Celtics wanted Bogey, they wanted Malik Beasley, they wanted Jordan Clarkson, and they wanted pick swaps.
That's out of the window.
That feels like a mistake to me.
Yeah.
That feels like the mistake if that is actually in fact what happened, and I have no reason to believe it's not. That's a mistake by the Lakers. And this is a mistake by the Lakers. This is a miscalculation. And it goes back to this conversation about who's running the LA Lakers right now, because if you're the Lakers and Boyan Bogdanovich is in Detroit, I mean, you just continue to blow toes off your foot.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing here.
Yep.
Because LeBron's not getting any younger. And again, I simply say that the Jazz can afford to lose 1 out of every 5 deals.
Right.
And I think we can all agree this is a loss for the Jazz. This trade, in my opinion,
Agreed.
If that's what this is, Danny Ainge lost this deal.
Agreed.
Plain and simple. And I will again go back and say there's a winner and a loser in every trade. He won the Cavs deal. He won the T-Wolves deal. He lost the Bogdanovich deal.
I'm going to say this again.
And I understand that he likes very much Kelly Olynyk. I totally understand that. I get it. But you cannot tell me that you couldn't have gotten more for Boyan Bogdanovich than Kelly flipping Olynyk.
Yeah.
I just...
We did what we did.
All Kelly Olynyk does, in my opinion, is take minutes from Jared Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mistake. He takes minutes from Walker Kessler. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
Because you're in a situation now, for better or for worse, where these young guys are your future. Whether you trade them for your future or they become your future, developing these young guys, it's why you hired David Fizdale. Developing these young guys is the only thing that matters. So bringing in a guy like Cody Zeller, okay, I'm fine with that. He's going to mentor guys. He's going to teach guys. Kelly Olynyk still has a lot of miles on the tires, in my opinion. He's a guy that makes a championship team deeper. He's not a guy that you bring to a rebuilding project with young guys like Kessler and Vanderbilt in a 4-5 hybrid guy. He's only taken minutes from those guys.
Facts.
That's the issue that I have with this.
Yes.
It feels like a terrible deal to me. It feels like a terrible deal to me. Let's see. How about some comments? BB says Danny wanted Kelly. That's got to be it. That's got to be the only explanation.
That could definitely be. I mean, obviously he's got a lot of experience with him.
Yeah. I mean that can be the only.
I mean, I don't want Kelly Olynyk. I mean, I agree with everything you just said about taking minutes and everything. But hey, if Danny thinks that's his cup of tea, I guess that's what it is.
Warren Franklin says, shout out to Danny Ainge. Hey, karma's a B.
Y'all feel me?
It is a biatch. I don't disagree with that. Jacob DeLambo says there has to be more Woj bombs incoming. Yeah, maybe there is. I don't know.
But we've kind of been saying that too. Like this trade, for whatever reason, there's not a good one, but for whatever reason, just makes us and guys like Jacob in the comments feel like, yeah, there's got to be another bomb coming, right? There's got to be, Danny just did this because there's something bigger happening. And I can't say that with all confidence.
Has to be. And I just don't. And look, I want, and what I want probably doesn't matter, frankly, but I want, and I guess the thing that matters to me so much is I just want a situation where it's clear and obvious that the young guys are in development the first half of the season.
Right.
That's it.
Winning should not be the priority. Development should be.
If that is your priority and if that is what you're doing, I'm totally good with that.
Right.
Kelly Olynyk doesn't send that message.
That's an issue.
Cody Zeller, okay, he sends that message. He ain't taking anybody's job. Kelly Olynyk is a guy that's here to play minutes, in my opinion. Are you just going to sit Kelly Olynyk on the – did you trade – let's say he did, in fact, trade for his guy. Are you telling me that you traded for your guy to sit him?
No.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. Anyway. And my Jazz fan says maybe he's padding our picks by sabotaging other picks. Well, with the CBA coming and what I think is going to be a very difficult process of unwinding all of these future picks in other people's hands.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't. Let's see. Blood of DePanta says Danny is petty and childish, and it shows. I
don't know about all that.
How is he petty and childish?
I don't know about that.
Like that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean,
let's
not exaggerate. Let's not let's not go too far with it. I don't have any problem, saying that there's definitely a chance that Danny asked for too much from the Lakers. I mean, there's definitely that could have happened. Again, don't have information, can't definitively say one way or the other, but that could have happened. I could easily see that. Hey, the Laker thing didn't work out. Danny didn't want to bring Jay Crowder back from Phoenix to do the Bogdanovich deal, so he went to the Pistons because he knew he had them in his back pocket. So to me, that's a perfectly plausible scenario. I also think it's perfectly plausible that Danny Ainge really likes Kelly Olynyk, and that's why he did this deal. And he feels like Kelly Olynyk can bring value and be pliable and be great from a basketball perspective. And what I'm telling you is Kelly Olynyk is not a winning basketball player at the highest level. He is a guy that you add to your roster when you are Western Conference Finals good or NBA Finals good, and he makes you deeper. So that's why I say I hope, and I know we're getting a lot of comments about it, that this deal was made to facilitate a bigger opportunity. That's what I hope.
And I think one of the things that's very clear in just messaging with some sources of mine at the Jazz, like I think they did not want to bring Boyan Bogdanovich back to camp. And I wonder if this was a bit of pulling the parachute because you have less than a week until camp opens now. I mean, I wonder if this was, hey, we're not going to make a deal with the Lakers.
What was so bad about Bogey that you didn't want him? See, to me, that's bad business if that's what happened.
Because I also think that you have to look at this roster and you have to understand that you don't have flexibility here. Like if you look at this roster right now, and you take this trade at face value, it is what it is.
Right, it is what it is. Yeah.
You didn't have flexibility with Boyan Bogdanovich. You look at how forward heavy you were with Bogdanovich. I mean, you're looking at Lauri. Like, what is Lauri Markkanen? He's a 3-4-5. He's a 3-4. Well, I don't think so though. I think that Lauri Markkanen has the ability to play size. Obviously, he can play a little lower. Now, he is much more of a finesse player. I would agree with that. But he's a big body. So you look at him, you now look at Olynyk, you look at Rudy Gay, you look at Jared Vanderbilt, you look at Agbaji, you look at Fontecchio, like you look at Walker Kessler, you look at Udoka Azubuike, like you look at Stanley Johnson. Everybody forgets Stanley Johnson's on this team. Like you have got a dearth of bigs on this team.
Yeah.
You're forward heavy, but I think you're also guard heavy. Conley, Sexton, Beasley, Clarkson, THT like Nickel Alexander Walker. Like, you look at the guards on this team, Balmero, Saban Lee now. You look at Jared Butler. Jared Butler's done. Jared Butler doesn't have a place on this team.
Saban Lee.
Jared Butler doesn't have
a
but seriously, Jared Butler doesn't have a place on this team.
Yeah. This is the price you pay for not coming to camp prepared.
You could not. I tend to agree with that. They did not feel like they could bring Boyan Bogdanovich back to camp.
Wow.
I mean, that's absolutely one way to explain why they made this deal, because it's a head scratcher. I mean, honest to goodness,
but that's precisely what I don't like about the deal. You moved a guy allegedly because you didn't want to bring him to camp, not because it was a good deal or because you got picks or because, hey, the pick thing didn't work out. We didn't want Crowder.
Yeah.
And we went and found a deal for a guy that we actually like. Like, that's my problem. I'm never a big believer in doing business because, hey, we can't bring this dude to camp. The fact is, you could have brought him to camp. Yeah, is he a bad fit? Yeah, because you have a bunch of bigs. You could have brought him to camp. You know what I mean? Like, you could have been patient and waited, but it is what it is, man. They made the deal now. And by the way, the other thing I'd point out is if the logic is we couldn't bring Bogdanovich to camp because we have a bunch of bigs, then why'd you trade him for a big?
I don't know. I think because Boyan Bogdanovich is a very limited player. He is still a very good player. Boyan Bogdanovich does one thing very well, and it's not defense, and it's not play with his back to the basket. He's a three-point shooter.
Yeah.
That's what he does. I think you need to create minutes for your younger guys. Walker Kessler cannot just be a guy that is your 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th guy who's on the taxi squad down to the G League, and he's playing more minutes at Maverick Center than he is at Vivint Arena. Like, Walker Kessler has to be developed. Jared Vanderbilt, you need to realize the top end of Jared Vanderbilt in the next season and a half.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So Boyan Bogdanovich being here does not do that for you. Lauri Markkanen's a trade chip. Lauri Markkanen's not a long-term fit on this team. You can't tell me that Kelly Olynyk finishes his career as one of the great Jazz trades of all time.
Yeah. That
doesn't feel like what it is. Rolling up on 8:30, talking about breaking news this morning on multiple fronts in the NBA. Adrian Wojnarowski with a Woj bomb reporting that can't be the Woj bomb sound. Reporting that Boyan Bogdanovich has been traded to the Pistons for Kelly Olynyk, as well as Saban Lee. That dropped about an hour ago. Woj then almost immediately turned around with another Woj bomb. And the Boston Celtics, Ime Udoka, their head coach, reportedly had an affair with a Celtics staff member and has been suspended for the entire year.
Yeah.
So he is out, which I think is a much bigger story than Ime Udoka, or I think Ime Udoka is a much bigger story. I need to put my phone down. Ime Udoka is a much bigger story than Boyan Bogdanovich, but I think in the terms of our conversations here about who the best team in the East is, this is debilitating to the Boston Celtics now. I think that this turmoil, this is going to be all they're going to talk about every time they lose a game or there's a questionable situation. Ime would have made a different decision. He would have done this. He would have done that. What if Ime hadn't been suspended? I think this weakens the Boston Celtics. There's no doubt about that. And again, I will just say the Sixers and the Nets are the two best teams in the East. And listening to Ben Simmons on JJ Redick's podcast yesterday, Ben Simmons is ready to rock and roll. I think Ben Simmons is coming back to prove that he's coming back. And I think that the Brooklyn Nets are going to be better for that. I think the Philadelphia 76ers, I think we'll make another trade before the season starts. And I have to believe they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the East.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it all plays out. Again, I'm just going to keep saying I have a lot of hesitations around Ben Simmons. I think Ben Simmons is unproven. You don't know what he's going to be able to provide to the team. I think best case scenario is he is your 6'10" point guard who plays great defense and facilitates and drives to the basket and gets fouled quite a bit. I think that's what his bread and butter is. And I think that Ben Simmons, if it's the Ben Simmons of old when he was aggressive and he was a very productive player, yeah, I think Brooklyn's in a great spot, because you're going to be feeding Kyrie and Kevin Durant. I mean, what better place for a guy like Ben Simmons to be than in a place where you've got two of the best scorers on the planet, literally. They're basically unstoppable. So that's why I say, yeah, they could be a championship caliber team. That said, what's the defense look like? Because Ben Simmons, theoretically, should be able to help them defensively. If you've got 6'10", at center, you've got another 6'10" guy in Kevin Durant out on the wing, Kyrie Irving can hold his own a little bit, and you've got Nick Claxton on the floor. That's a lot of length, man. That's a lot of rim protection.
Interesting thought on the Lakers, though, on this Bogdanovich trade. Maybe the Lakers are being careful because it was just pointed out to me that the future matters now with the age change and Bronny and Bryce, LeBron wanting to play with his kids. It does make a lot of sense that they would be very careful with what they're doing with their future draft picks. And if that's the case, that's a huge mistake.
Yeah,
because again, you're letting LeBron dictate to your organization.
It's ridiculous.
How disappointing are the Lakers?
Oh, man,
can we just say it? How disappointing is this?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's incredibly disappointing.
Anybody who says that LeBron James isn't in control of that organization is up in the night. He is absolutely driving the ship there.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's very interesting that all of that is going on. And it's all happening while you order your Papa Murphy's Pizza. Use the promo code Monty25. As we talk about breaking news on the Utah Jazz, they have traded Boyan Bogdanovich. Let me run through a bunch of your comments here. Marlon Shaw gives us a $10 tip and says, have to have faith in Ainge. He usually kills it. If this ends up as it is and is a waste, well, we all needed a mulligan once in a while. Sure. Absolutely. We can do that.
I'm not saying that Danny's incompetent. What I'm saying is Danny knows better. That's what I'm saying, is that Danny, doesn't – it's just not how he operates. He doesn't just do deals just for the sake of doing deals, So that's why I have an issue with the whole, hey, they didn't want to bring him to camp. I don't buy that out of a Danny Ainge run organization. I don't buy that.
It makes sense.
Well,
I think it makes sense that they didn't want to bring him to camp.
It doesn't make sense to me because you traded a guy in Boyan Bogdanovich, and then you brought in Kelly Olynyk. The logic for Bogdanovich was, hey, we're already forward heavy, and obviously they need to move on from Bogdanovich because he doesn't fit into what they're doing. But if the logic is, hey, we traded him because we're forward heavy and it just doesn't really work.
Well, no, they traded him because his role on this team needs to be filled by a young guy. And those 3-point shots need to go to a young guy. Those three, I mean, that's it. I think it's as simple as that. I think the other thing that you need to understand is that this trade frees up minutes to showcase, because again, I just don't buy into the fact that Lauri Markkanen's a lifer here. When this team wins a championship, he won't be on the roster, in my opinion. Neither will Kelly Olynyk.
But 30 points in the EuroLeague, bro.
I'm just telling you, I think that when you look at the guys that are going to play, you've got to figure out what Fontecchio is.
Yeah.
I think he has to be a priority because he looked great at Eurobasket. I mean, he looked really, really good.
Yeah, productive.
You going to make it over there?
Yeah, man. It's Thursday.
Trust me, I'm feeling that. The alarm went off very early this morning. Colton Bitten said, did this mean there will likely be no deal with the Lakers? I don't think that's ever the case. I think it's a different deal with the Lakers now. Warren Franklin says, wow, how about my Knicks? Cavs should be good too. The Knicks are 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, they're the same team they were.
I don't think they're remarkably better. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are remarkably better. I think that the team that's not remarkably better in the East is, unfortunately, my Chicago Bulls. I mean, I look at, I think if you look at let's look at the Cavs real quick, right? Because, again, I think when you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, you say to yourself, okay, Donovan, Kevin Love, Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley.
Hey, it's DG.
Yeah, DG, excuse me. Seti Osman, Isaac Okoro, you like all of those guys putting the ball in the hole, and that's a pretty good defensive team as well. Like everybody, that's a team that knows their role and they play their roles really well. Okay, well, let's look at the Chicago Bulls. Like, did the Chicago Bulls do anything that made themselves a better team? No, I mean, they signed Zach LaVine to a massive extension. He'll be injured. Lonzo Ball's having knee surgeries out a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks. He's having the worst surgery that you want to have.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's needed. He's having surgery to remove dead and decaying tissue from his knee that is preventing his knee from healing correctly. Yeah, that's not good news. He's out 6 weeks, which is when he'll be evaluated again to determine the next steps. Lonzo Ball is done.
Yeah.
Like he is not, they're going to pay him $20 million to watch games. It's that simple. But you look at LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, that's still your core. That's your core. Those are your guys. Now, you have incredibly strong guard play off the bench. Ayo Dosunmu is a great young player. Alex Caruso is one of the best role players in the league. That's not a championship caliber team.
Yeah.
I look at the other team that I think we talk about all the time, the Philadelphia 76ers. I look at the Sixers in the East, and I say to myself, hey, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, James Harden, PJ Tucker, Tyrese Maxey, Montrezl Harrell. You've got guys on that team. Not to mention, I think DeAnthony Melton's a nice little pickup for them. Daniel House Jr. is a good defensive player.
Yep.
You understand, and if they make another move to upgrade a Korkmaz, you understand why now they're going to compete, for one of the top 3 spots in the East. And let's not forget about Milwaukee. Will they stay healthy?
Milwaukee.
Who knows? But you look at the New York Knicks, and of all of those teams that we talked about, and understanding that the Brooklyn Nets are on top of that Eastern Conference totem pole.
Right.
Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, Mitchell Robinson, R.J. Barrett. Those are your 5 best players. That's not middle table up. That's below the mid-table down. I mean, that's 6, 7, 8. That's play-in team. Because the East got better.
Yeah.
I again just point to the Brooklyn flipping Nets, who didn't make a trade. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, Joe Harris, Royce O'Neal, Nick Claxton, Seth Curry, Patty Mills, Cam Thomas, Kessler Edwards, TJ Warren, Markieff Morris. That's the best team in the East right there.
Yeah.
I don't even know that can be argued. That is the best team in the East.
Yeah, we'll see if they can put it together. I really do believe, you have to be able to, you got to be able to pan out on the floor, man. It's great that you have all this talent on paper, but it's got to work on the floor. That's my only hesitation.
Yeah. Boyan Bogdanovich is a Detroit Piston this morning. If you're just tuning in, they traded him for Kelly Olynyk and Saban Lee. Good money deal. Really good money deal. I like this deal financially speaking. But I don't love this deal from a future basketball perspective. I truly don't. I mean, if you're looking to, waste money, or if you're looking to be irresponsible, call any other contractor but Wayman Brothers Construction. When you're looking to be responsible and you're looking to do good things with your money, that's when you call Wayman Brothers Construction. Those guys are nails, dude. I love my guys at Wayman Brothers Construction. They've done multiple projects for me now. What?
That was some of your best work right there.
That's what I do.
Seriously.
That's what I do. But Wayman Brothers Construction have done multiple projects for me. They're always on time. They're always on budget. And the best part is they communicate. And they communicate at a high level, whether it's text messaging, phone calling. They know we do this show live every day until 9:30. They don't call me before 9:30. They text me. They're on time. They're working on a huge project for us right now. We were texting yesterday. They didn't rush to get it done because it needs to be done the right way. There's a little complexity in this next step. They're taking their time to make sure it's done right. And by the way, they're still weeks ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you get. And the other thing that's really important is the finished product is fantastic. It is a superior finished product when you work with Wayman Brothers Construction. So call them today, 801-654-1028, 801-654-1028 for Wayman Brothers Construction. Let's get some of your other comments in here. Kanai Johnson says, what could Ainge be looking for in a big deal, and who or what team would they be willing to deal with the Jazz? Well, I think there's a lot of teams.
Yeah, possibilities are endless, man.
I still maintain that Malik Beasley has significant value in this league. I think Jordan Clarkson has significant value in this league. The Lakers very clearly had interest in Jordan Clarkson. I just don't know that they have the pieces anymore to get that done. I think when you look across the Eastern Conference, there's absolutely no doubt that the Bulls are in the market. The Sixers are absolutely one of the busiest teams in the market. The Knicks are still looking for deals. Danny's got all these relationships in place. So he's had these conversations. Justin Zanuck's had these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt in my mind that they're still active on the phones. I think this Boyan Bogdanovich trade is a signal that there's still some people cutting diamonds in their hindquarters, being tight with their money, not wanting to make the wrong move.
Yeah.
Because I think the margin for error at the top of the East and really at the top of the West is very thin. So I think they're being very careful. The Macho Man.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Danny is detrimental if he asks for the moon and trades that same player for peanuts when he doesn't get what he wants. Well, I don't know that that's what he did here.
But I think, yeah, I mean, the truth is we don't know if that's what happened, but I think it kind of looks that way. When you look around and you're like, hey, we know they said no to the Suns on Jay Crowder for Bogdanovich. We know they were definitely talking to Rob Pelinka in Lakerland about, 2 first-round picks, and it came out at one point that he had asked for 3. So that's why I say it kind of adds up to me that that's kind of what happened. Plan A was the Lakers, Plan B was the Suns, and Plan C was the Pistons out of nowhere. So I don't know, man. Whether it's a training camp thing or whether it's that or whatever, the fact is they just didn't get enough for Boyan Bogdanovich, in my opinion.
Yeah, I tend to believe that they didn't want to bring Boyan back to training camp. I mean, to me, that makes a lot of sense that they didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think you have to figure out how you navigate the waters going forward. Because that's what matters here.
But do you see how training camp creeps up on you? Training camp all of a sudden one day is just like here tomorrow. You know what I mean? And that's the trouble in the NBA is like you've spent weeks. It was, 6-8 weeks trying to do the Donovan deal? And now training camp's here. So, yeah. and that's why I say I'm not trying to be harsh on the Jazz or anything. I just don't love the concept of, hey, we traded him because we didn't want to bring him back to camp. Because I do agree. Obviously, you want all the 3-point reps to go to the young guys. I don't disagree with that logic at all. I think that's where they are. But I just don't love the idea that, hey, we traded one of our most valuable trade assets, not because we liked the players or the package we were getting, but because camp was here and we knew we needed to move him, so we sacrificed a bit. I just don't love that.
BB says this locker room must have been toxic last year. I think at times it was. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah.
Warren Franklin says Patty Mills 50 years old. LOL. KD getting older. Cam Thomas cool. Ben Simmons can't shoot or hit free throws. I'm just saying Boston, they all screw up. Just don't sleep on the Knicks. We have a great bench. Well, you might have a great bench, but I don't think until Julius Randle isn't on that roster and until you get an absolute killer on that team, you're not going to win. They don't have a number one. The Knicks have a bunch of 2s and 3s. They don't have a number one. And I like the Jalen Brunson deal, but again, you can say that Ben Simmons can't shoot, but he is the best on-ball defender in the NBA. There's just no doubt about that. There's not a point guard I want running the break more than I want Ben Simmons. When Ben Simmons is playing downhill offensively,
he's tough to stop.
How many times did he dunk on Rudy Gobert here?
Yeah.
I mean, we forget the value of Ben Simmons' game. And if you listen to what he said on JJ Redick's podcast, you listen to what he said at his summer league tour, like this cat's out to prove people wrong. And that is when you have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Ben Simmons all on a mission to prove people wrong, they're going to be a lethal team.
Yeah.
The Knicks are a bottom tier team in my opinion. Jacob DeLambo says, love Crowder, but dude is always on losing championship teams. Could be. Asgill says, don't pretend the Knicks are better than the Nets. They're not.
No, they're not.
They're not. Down, Up, Down says, KD would beat the entire Knicks starting lineup by himself. Could be. Colton says, Conley is the one we shouldn't bring back to camp. I don't disagree with that. I mean, if you're going to go young, go young.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go all in on it, no doubt.
If you're going to go young, go young. But who's the all-star on this team?
Sexton.
I think it is Colin Sexton.
Yeah.
I think that's the guy. He's the must keep him healthy. I just don't. I don't know. Let's see. Problem with the Pistons, Brent, or problem with this trade is The Jazz can't trade these Lions for 2 months. Got to be all about the money, as the Jazz value money besides picks. Yeah, I mean,
we'll see, man. We'll see. All I'm saying is I don't like it on the face. That's what I don't like. I don't like that you traded Boyan for to me what is a package that falls short in value. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. And so many people are DMing and texting me.
Right.
I just think it's one of these things where you have to, in my opinion, you have to look at things at face value. And I think at face value, I just think that this is one of those things. And I'll maintain what my guy at the Jazz was messaging me. They needed to open opportunities for younger players. They did not want to bring Boyan Bogdanovich back to camp.
What I just said.
They did not want to do that. And I think that it is what it is.
Yeah.
This is not a great trade. I don't love it, but it is what it is, man. I think it's a money move. Kenai Johnson says, man, it's crazy. We are down to 2 players from last year, Conley and Clarkson. I don't know whose jersey to buy. Maybe Stockton. Maybe don't buy any jersey.
Yeah.
Make them force you to buy a jersey. Like, I mean, you don't have a TV deal. You don't have a competitive roster.
Yep.
Why are you buying somebody's jersey?
Yep.
Make them force you to buy a ticket. Make them force you to buy a jersey. It's that simple. I don't think this is very difficult at all, frankly.
Yeah.
So what I would tell you is don't buy a jersey at all. That or buy a blank. If you really like the new jerseys, buy a blank. Don't buy somebody's jersey. There's no reason to do that. And I've seen a lot of people out there buying the highlighter yellow jersey with Stockton and Malone. Hey, I think that's cool. Do that.
Yeah.
Do that. I saw a Mark Eaton jersey like that. Absolutely do that. Do it. Rhett Williams says, I think Jared Butler has big potential. Does he get a shot now? He doesn't have big potential. Jared Butler's got a professionalism problem. And he did not show up ready to compete at Summer League. And until he shows up ready to compete, I'm not going to say he's got a high ceiling, because I am incredibly disappointed. From what I saw and what I heard about Jared Butler at Summer League, I am incredibly disappointed with that dude.
Yeah.
He needs to, because listen, you can rip Quinn Snyder all you want. You can say that he didn't get opportunities. Jared Butler had opportunities to show, and he did not show. And by the way, he did not shoot well at Summer League.
Yeah.
I mean, he
didn't
same
do his
dude.
job, man. Like, it just is what it is.
It's the same dude. He is exactly the same dude. Rhett Williams also says Andy Larson's Twitter brings more light to it. I think I'm blocked on Andy Larson's Twitter. I could be wrong. I don't know, but it's fine. Yeah, sure. I mean, that could be. Jared Butler is broken, Colton Bitten says. I agree. He is broken. He is very broken. By the way, also breaking news this morning. Did you guys see? Oh, I see you reading Andy's Twitter. What did he say?
Nothing. He said that they did the deal to make space for young guys to take the reps, basically. I mean, he said...
Is that what he said?
Yeah. The Jazz did it to try to open time at forward position and get an experienced center in Olynyk. They like Olynyk. You know, they have a feeling Olynyk will help develop young guys on the roster. You know.
Well, then what's Cody Zeller doing here?
Yeah, I don't know what Cody Zeller's doing here, if that's why you went and got Olynyk. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, whether, you know, and again, I'm not interested in the, you know, listen to us, listen to Andy, listen to Tony Jones, listen to who you want. I mean, that's your decision as a consumer. But what I am here to talk about is this deal doesn't make sense. Any way you want to try and cook the cake, it doesn't make sense. Like, whether you want to,
you mean bake the cake?
Bake the cake, cook the cake, whatever the hell you want. That's precisely what I'm saying. Like, this deal.
Look, any way you want to fry that
like
cake.
Any way you want to put the barbecue sauce on your Papa Murphy's pizza.
That
this
you
deal
cook
doesn't
on a
make
smoker
sense.
from Barbecue Pit Stop.
Yeah, that Teddy Wayman probably built for you in your backyard. Like, this deal doesn't make sense to me. And I'm sorry. Like, I love the guys that we talk to and the relationships that we have. But this feels, frankly, to me, and maybe I'm an idiot and I'm wrong, but it feels like a sales piece to me. It feels like you're trying to justify bringing in Kelly Olynyk. Like, that's kind of what it feels like. And it's fine. If you would have just said, like, sometimes I wish they just said, yeah, we traded him because we need to trade him and we didn't have a better deal. So we traded him.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Dallin Sproles is quickly becoming one of my favorite commenters.
Bro.
Is Jared Butler more broken than Jake Oldroyd?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Damn.
My God.
Damn.
I'm going to get medieval on your ass.
Bro.
Wow.
Hey, you start talking shit.
Dude.
Bro.
Jinx. Dallin, that was money, dude. That was money, bro. Let's see. Cody pickup was very strange. Yeah, I don't So, Cody Zeller's not going to make the team?
But what does that even mean? He's not going to, so does that mean you're just going to cut him?
Well, yeah, I guess so. It does't make sense that Kelly Olynyk is here to mentor people. That is Kelly Olynyk that guy?
Yeah, no. Zeller is. Zeller's that guy. Olynyk to me has never been that guy, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. New York Jazz fan says the Jazz org has a chance to start changing some of the perceptions about Utah with the All-Star game coming to SLC, but Smith and crew need to go big and execute. Well, I can tell you the upgrades at the arena are going to be spectacular.
Yes.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. I mean, Mark Hale says, wow, that is taking a kick in the nuts, except Jake would miss the kick and hit you in the thigh. Wow. Shots fired. Mark Hale just said that if Jake Oldroyd tried to kick you in the nuts, he'd miss and hit you on the thigh.
I'm going to say this again.
If Jake Oldroyd is listening to this show right now, I apologize in advance.
Love and support, Jake. We all love you. But you need to make a kick.
Me?
You know. Connor Curlis says, joining late to this stream, if we were to give this trade a letter grade, what would it be? A D.
Yeah, D.
The D. I don't like it at all. Colton Bitten says, Zeller and Olynyk look like all-stars compared to Azubuike. Well, you look like an all-star compared to Azubuike. Azubuike's just not athletic enough.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Yeah. The draft sins that Dennis Lindsay has perpetrated against this Jazz team are
deep.
I mean, deep.
Like, this man was a bona fide scrub.
Ime Udoka deep. Like, it is.
Wow. Ime Udoka deep? Are you serious?
Pause, bro. Pause.
Bro, too soon, bro.
Wow, Dad. Wow.
Oh, my God.
You're welcome. I feel better about
wow. That was incredible.
Football 50-10 of the hour, every hour, is presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza. PapaMurphys.com. Make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more in the Papa Murphy's Pizza app or online at PapaMurphys.com. Or, by the way, you can just walk into a store as well. But this morning we have a lot of breaking news in the NBA. Speaking of Ime Udoka, Adrian Wojnarowski with a Woj bomb.
Wow, that's
stereo
on point.
Adrian Wojnarowski saying that Ime Udoka is going to be suspended for the entire season. That will be announced today. Yeah, he had an affair with a Boston Celtics staffer who was allegedly, by some reports, married.
Allegedly.
Ime Udoka has a longtime life partner. He has a girlfriend. It is strictly prohibited in the Boston Celtics organization to have sexual relations with staffers.
We clear on
this is
that?
a big deal. Ime Udoka, here's the only question I have. Why are you suspending him? Why are you not firing him? With all the PR issues that you have in the NBA currently, even just the Robert Sarver situation.
Yes.
Why is Ime Udoka not being fired by the Boston Celtics? It's a very interesting decision to suspend Ime Udoka, because I think what this does is torpedoes your season. Now as training camp opens and media day happens, now we're going to be talking about, well, hey, Jason Tatum, what do you think of this? Hey, Jaylen Brown, we're not going to be focused on basketball. We're going to be focused on Ime Udoka's sex life, which
biggest kick in the balls you'll ever get.
Well, Jake would miss and hit your thigh. But the point is, that's just not what you want to be doing when training camp opens. Yes. So that's a huge story. And, of course, the biggest story here in Salt Lake City is that Boyan Bogdanovich is a Detroit Piston. Traded to Detroit this morning on another Woj bomb. Woj saying that Kelly Olynyk.
Kelly freaking Olynyk.
Yeah, I don't know. And Saban Lee.
Garbage.
Kelly Olynyk and Saban Lee come back in that deal.
Come on.
This is a horrendous trade.
Come on.
And again, sources at the Utah Jazz this morning, as we've been reporting for the better part of an hour now, say that this was an effort to open up minutes for younger guys. They did not want to bring Boyan Bogdanovich back to camp.
Pack your shit. Let's go.
Yeah, because they need to develop younger players. And listen, I think that's a perfectly plausible reason to trade Boyan Bogdanovich. But I'm going to need more than the needles to blow up your basketballs, because that's essentially what you got. Like, I don't like this trade. And to the commenter's point about what would you letter grade this at, it's a D. It's absolutely a D. It's not F. I think, hey, if Saban Lee develops and he turns into a bench or role player for you, okay, fine. Kelly Olynyk's a half-season, one-season guy. When this team wins a championship, you cannot tell me that Kelly Olynyk's part of that rotation.
Yeah.
I just don't see that. And it is incredibly disappointing to me that's what the situation is here. Like, I
look, I think it's disappointing. I think it falls a bit short, but hey, this is the business of rebuilding. I mean, you're not going to be. It's probably a bit unrealistic to expect every move to be perfect and love them all, but I think that my issue isn't even with Kelly Olynyk as a basketball player. My issue is the concept of how this deal came to fruition, which is we've heard a couple of different stories, and there's a couple of different storylines with it. Hey, they traded him because they didn't want to bring him to camp. That's number one. Number two, and this is my personal opinion on what happened, I think that Danny asked for too much from the Lakers and pushed the envelope just a touch too far. The Lakers pushed back and said, no, we're out, we're good, we're done. He then went to the Suns because the Suns reached out to him and said, hey, we got Jay Crowder. We're really interested in Bogdanovich because that would bring us a lot of value. Danny said no to that. I'm not interested. So Danny went ahead and pulled the trigger on the Pistons deal. That's what I think happened. That's what I would be doing if I was Danny Ainge.
I don't know that he asked too much from LA. My feeling is, and again, this is just my feeling. My feeling is that Danny Ainge has a price on every guy on his roster. And if you want that guy, you got to meet that price.
Yeah, but at some point, you got to come to the middle, dude.
The Knicks did not. But anyway you slice this, this is not the price for Boyan Bogdanovich. How do you explain getting so little in return for Boyan?
What do you think the price was? A pick? Pick for player?
Could be. I'll tell you what I think the price is after we hear from Papa Murphy's.
No one goes all in on made-from-scratch freshness like Papa Murphy's. Because when you go all in, people notice. Go all in with the triple pet pizza for just $11.99. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Breaking news this morning, Boyan Bogdanovich traded to the Detroit Pistons by the Utah Jazz. And I think the price that Danny was asking for varies based on the person that he's talking to. I think if you are the LA Lakers and you're talking to Danny Ainge, he wants both of your first-round picks, and he's going to give you pick swaps in return, and he's going to give you players in return. And I feel pretty good based on sources I talked to at the Utah Jazz that the Jazz were willing to buy out Russell Westbrook. I think the certain issue was that I think Danny wanted a better player in return. I think Danny wanted a player that he could use because he was going to lose three of his top players on this roster.
Yeah.
And I think that the Lakers didn't have the nuts to get that deal done. I told you the other day that they were out looking for a third team, and I heard that third team was Toronto. That deal didn't come to fruition. So Boyan Bogdanovich got literally given away to the Detroit Pistons, which I guess makes sense. I mean, I think this makes the Pistons a 7, 8, 9, 10 team in the East.
Yeah.
Which is probably where they need to be. And Kate Cunningham is going to have a huge year. Sadiq Bey is going to have to stay healthy, and Boyan's going to have to knock down threes. It'll be interesting to see what they do. But, I don't love this trade. I just don't love this deal, if we're being honest. Dallin Sproul says, plus going to the Pistons is it's in the East and doesn't hurt you at all in the future. Only thing I can see. I have been told repeatedly that making the Lakers better is not a concern of the Utah Jazz. Because they're in two different time frames.
Mm-hmm.
You're in two different windows. The reason that they weren't going to make a deal with Dallas is because Dallas isn't that dissimilar as far as where they are and where they're going as to the Utah Jazz. But I think when you look at the Lakers, the Clippers, the Suns, the Warriors, all four of those teams are far beyond and well out of reach of where the Jazz are. And by the time the Jazz are ready to compete with those teams will be very different. So I think that's why I say the price is different based on who you're talking to. The Suns are not going to give you a Mikal Bridges. They're not going to give you a Cam Johnson. They're not going to give you a frontline player of theirs. For what in return? Boyan Bogdanovich doesn't get you and he's not even able to be traded now, a DeAndre Ayton, right? So Jay Crowder is not of use for this Utah Jazz team.
Yeah.
Jay Crowder's a buyout guy, and that's not what the Jazz are looking to do in that particular scenario. I am still a little surprised that, that certain teams in the East, and Philly, I'm looking at you, Chicago, I'm looking at you, Toronto, I'm looking at you, the Knicks, I'm looking at you. I'm still surprised that those teams haven't dealt, and I'm still surprised that Boyan Bogdanovich didn't wind up on a better team. Mm-hmm. I'm really surprised by that because I know that he was one of the most in-demand players around the NBA this summer, and yet he does not wind up on a team of note. He winds up with the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
So I do not know how you explain that, but I will say this. Every day of the week, if you can turn Kelly Olynyk into Boyan Bogdanovich, you're doing that.
All day.
It's a win for the Pistons.
Yep.
It is unequivocal, and there is no way to spin that. Asgill says Pistons better than the Knicks now. Where is Warren to trigger? The Pistons are not better than the Knicks. They're not. I mean, that's close. Greg Hawkins says, "Sup, y'all? What's going on?" Jesse Harsh says this feels like a very un-Danny Ainge deal. It does.
Yeah,
it does. Brian Clegg. Hey, what's up, Brian? Kelly mouth breather Olynyk. Really? For Bogey? He is a mouth breather. And he wears a headband. Down Up Down says Cody Zeller may as well cancel his flight to Utah. He's not getting a guaranteed deal. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, I again.
What are we supposed to feel like? Are we supposed to?
You're supposed to feel like crap as a Jazz fan.
Yeah, I mean, our
you are.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, but our I think there's as a Jazz fan, I could see how you'd feel like crap before this trade even happened. I mean, yeah, Danny's had a great offseason, but as a Jazz fan, you've been spoiled because Donovan Mitchell's made the playoffs every year of his career so far.
Yep. Ruff's official says, notice the constant criticism of Sarver, but Udoka gets a pass. I wonder why. Well, because Udoka...
How is Udoka getting a pass?
Udoka's not a racist. Udoka's not a misogynist. Udoka doesn't put barn animals in people's offices so that they can crap all over their furniture. Udoka doesn't constantly comment on females' body parts and whatnot. You're talking about Ime Udoka, who has been suspended for the year, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, for having an affair with a allegedly married Celtics staffer. The two are not even in the same hemisphere. The two are not even in the same conversation. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like that is... You've said some ridiculous things, but that's pretty ridiculous. That's pretty ridiculous. Brent Burnett says, feel bad for Boyan. Going to the Pistons, hopefully not the last stop for him. No, it won't be. It won't be. Brett Burnett says, Jazz owners feel great as he gets millions in savings. Well, I mean, listen. They've spent money. And they are spending significant money. I've been constantly asking about this TV deal. The infrastructure they're building for the right TV deal is pretty significant. They also have the All-Star game in town, so the renovations at the arena are massive. If a year from now we're in this same boat, okay, you're exactly right. They're penny pinching. That's not the feeling I get from Ryan Smith and people at the Jazz. My feeling is they're putting their financial house in order. Mike Conley was a mistake. I think it's time for Jazz fans to call that out in name. The Mike Conley extension was a mistake.
Yep.
Bringing him back was a mistake. The Rudy Gobert contract was a mistake. The Rudy Gay trade was a mistake. This regime under Ryan Smith's ownership has made a lot of mistakes. Danny Ainge hasn't made many. Since he got here in December officially, Danny Ainge pretty much hasn't put a step wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't love this Boyan Bogdanovich trade, but it's hard to say it's a disaster.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, calling it a disaster is definitely an exaggeration, but I can understand why people would be upset about it or be salty about it. It's just not a great deal. But again, it's over now. Like, you are where you are.
Yeah, there too do says, I see little to no benefit in this trade for Utah. Very disappointing, but at least this will keep Detroit out of the Wembanyama sweepstakes. You're not getting the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I thought I had a story on it. I'm pretty sure that I did. But you're not getting that. I mean, I think you have a 1.5% chance.
Yeah.
Of getting a I don't know. I just think you have no chance at it. And by the way, is that what you want to do with all these picks? You're trying to get the number 1 overall pick. That's
you did all
Danny
of this
Ainge,
for a 1% chance.
Danny Ainge straight up said that. I apologize. I'm a squirrel when it comes to my text messages. Danny Ainge straight up said he's too old to be bucking for the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's 68,000 years old.
Yeah.
He's trying to win a championship now.
Yeah, I know what time it is.
You know. Ruff's official back on the Suns says several Suns employees disputed the alleged Sarver. They did not. Stop. See, like, Ruff, I don't know why you got to do this. There was an exhaustive investigation done. Can I just tell you? We worked in Phoenix around that team. Do you understand? Their former general manager confirmed those stories to us. Like, he told us about, like, we did a media day interview with Ryan McDonough where he talked about that, man.
Yeah.
Like, these stories about Robert Sarver are not hearsay or rumors, guy. You're trying to make this a thing that, Ime Udoka's black and that's why he's not being fired. Robert Sarver is a detestable human being.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. And I would venture to say I probably know 3 or 4 top tier Suns employees, like top of the food chain. None of them respect him or like him. None of them. Not one of them respects or likes him. This is not like rumor or hearsay or, Suns employees who are QAnon followers, like got on the conspiracy theory boat and denied that ever happened with the voting machines. Get the, do you understand how dumb you make yourself sound? When you say stuff like several Suns employees disputed alleged Sarver claims. No, they did not. Anybody that's around him knows he repeatedly used the N-word to piss people off. Repeatedly.
Yeah.
People around him know what he has said and how he has treated women in that organization. The Ryan McDonough thing was the final straw for a lot of people. For a lot of people. You're trying awfully difficult. And I just, Ruff, this is where you lose me. You never come in and you never talk about sports. You always want to talk about conspiracy theories and, dude, you need, honest to goodness, I think you need help. I'm serious. Derek says this trade puts the Jazz ahead of the Pistons in the upcoming draft. That must have been the motivation.
Could be.
Could be, sure. Okay. So Danny Ainge then was dishonest when he was talking about, listen to what he says here.
The reality is we've had 16 years of, it's better than mediocrity for sure at times in the last 16 years, but at the same time, it really hasn't been championship caliber basketball. And 16 years without getting past the second round of the playoffs, I think is not what any of us want. And so the change is just, okay, here we are with veteran team, had been all in on this veteran team. I think Dennis Lindsey has done a fantastic job in this organization, as did Quinn Snyder. And but I just think we're starting over.
Starting over. During the media session, Danny Ainge straight up said, I'm too old to be hoping on draft picks and young players. And like you're not going all in to get the highest draft pick you can possibly get.
Yeah.
That just does not make a whole lot of sense. Colton Bitten says, I don't know. Jazz are going to be bad. They are going to be bad. To start the season, there's no question about that. There to do says Ainge was a little dishonest about keeping Mitchell. A lot dishonest. M. Morris says Utah builds through the draft. I doubt that.
I know you're not speaking on history, right? Because the fact is the team has been dreadful in the draft and hasn't done anything out of the draft.
No, I would agree. John Jackson says, do you think it bothers Gobert that he will be competing against Mitchell and Boyan for an East title? I don't think even a little bit.
Nope. I think he embraces that, and that is something I will be looking for.
Yep. Tariq says, I can't believe Monty brought up the Knicks for Bogues. LOL, the Knicks are not dealing with Ainge. I would say that's not accurate at all. I think the Knicks would love to acquire Jordan Clarkson. I think if the Knicks had gotten Donovan Mitchell, I think they would have taken Mike Conley as well. I think everybody loves to think that these things are, hey, you're a jerk. You didn't make the Donovan Mitchell trade. Don't ever talk to me again. I can tell you factually the Knicks and the Jazz have talked in the last 7 days. Like it's not a thing where they're not talking. I mean, it just ongoing. Is what it is. Asgill says, do you guys hate Wembanyama? No, not at all. I think he's injury prone. I think he is going to have to show that he's durable and that he can physically play in the NBA.
Yeah, it's a man's game in the NBA, dude. It's not. You're not playing against stick figures in high school.
It just does not work. It is very difficult to be built like he's built. And granted, he's more of an outside player in this league. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But how does he even compete with Rudy Gobert? Like, how does he go up against any power forward in this league? Like, I don't hate his game. I just don't. I'm not the guy that's going to take the risk and draft him.
He's not a fit for the Jazz, dude.
I mean,
that's what it is.
I don't. Again, and I don't care who it is that you pick. I mean, you still got to develop him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Anthony Bennett or look at all the number one picks, look at Robert Swift. Go back and look at Robert Swift. Like, you look at these kids and they're kids. And in the next couple of years, they're not even going to have to play a year in college. And they're going to lower the draft age from 19 to 18. Like, they're kids, man. You're not. There are very few guys like who's a lock recently as a young, like a Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm.
He was a professional basketball player almost the minute he popped out of his mom's womb.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you look at guys like
John
that.
Morant.
Okay. Yeah. John Morant a little bit. I mean, he went to Murray State, so that's a bit different. But I think when you look at all of these things, you're risking a lot on when you draft number one. It's not a good thing.
Yeah,
I think everybody forgets this part. When you're drafting the number one spot in the draft, you're awful.
Yeah,
you are not well. You're Oklahoma City. Like, no, if you're an organization that wants the number one pick, you're not trying to win a championship in the next 5 years. Those are the simple realities of it.
Yes.
So trying to get the number one pick, hey, great. I'll take 20 down in this draft. I mean, this draft is probably arguably the deepest draft. And I don't know. I don't know that there's a home run in this draft. I mean, there probably is.
It's a draft, dude. You're taking risk. That's why you guys got to understand that obviously they're going to draft guys, but like to do all of this to go after a 1% chance on VW is just not smart.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think when you're 7'2" and you're 180 whatever it is pounds, that's a tough way to make a living. I mean, you're gonna have splinters in your ass from sitting on the bench. I mean, honest to God, you look at Chet. Look at your boy Chet Holmgren.
Yes, dude. I love Chet's game, but
played in college. Immediately got hurt when he started playing in the NBA.
Yeah, and not even in an NBA game.
No,
like that was at a pro-am, and LeBron was taking it easy on him.
It's really. Yeah, I don't know. BTS Dance Studio says Anthony Bennett is killing it in the Taiwan Super League. Could be. Toasted Rudy in 2v2 when he was 16. Could be trouble. Okay. Hey, man. Good luck. Jesse Harsh says, amen. Look at the 76ers. By the way, Jesse Harsh, I got your tickets today.
Hey.
Jesse Harsh won the Shamrock Series drive away.
There you go.
He's going to get 2 nights at the Palms, 2 tickets to the BYU Notre Dame game, and a $250 gas card. So
Yes, you did.
that'll be good.
Yes, you did.
Askill says Grizz drafted Ja not long ago. Truth. Brett Burnett says Jazz reset totally about money. Well, I mean, they completely flipped their cap. I mean, there is no doubt about that. I mean, you look at their cap now. Hello. You look at their cap now.
Hello.
I'm just waiting on the internet, bro. You look at their cap now. They've got $23 million in practical cap space. I mean, the active roster cap is 143.3. You know, like they've only got $6 million in cap holds now. You know, so I mean, they're in a really good spot. I mean,
they're moving in the right direction. It's just not going to be. It's not. I'm telling you, they're not going after VW. That's just not, to me, that makes zero sense. He's a great prospect. I don't even dispute that. But to go after him through this kind of a process doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. They are $11 million under the luxury tax. So I think it's all good. Okay, can we end the show today by talking about Gwen Stefani, please?
Yes.
Let's do this because this is crazy. Do you guys know who Gwen Stefani is? I think you probably do. Let me show you the Gwen Stefani that you think you know. That's Gwen Stefani, right?
Hey, baby.
She's hot.
Yeah, good-looking girl.
Absolutely, she's hot. There's Gwen Stefani.
Bro, what?
Oh, no, wait. There's Gwen Stefani.
Whoa.
What happened to Gwen Stefani's face? Like, you guys remember her from No Doubt? You know,
yeah.
Don't think. Yeah, I can't sing it all. But anyway, you remember Gwen Stefani,
yes,
right? I mean, cute, hot chick, like one of the hottest chicks of her era.
Got that attitude.
Yeah, the pop funk mix.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I mean, she
awesome.
was amazing. And she's evolved a little bit over time.
Look at you.
Okay, this look is I mean, you Gwen, you look a lot like your dad in this shot. Okay? But, bro, who attacked your face?
Oh!
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This right here is what I don't understand about our aesthetically pleasing society.
Yeah.
Wait, just real quick. Is this an improvement?
No.
This is not. Is this
an improvement? Bro, she's like 10 rungs down the ladder now.
No, I don't disagree with that.
Dude.
That's terrible.
Like, that picture on the right, and then go to back to the original one. Look at how different that is, bro.
Gorgeous, Gwen Stefani. Beautiful.
And then, like, even there, that's fine. It's totally passable. Not a problem.
No, not
okay.
terrible.
Not terrible.
This
one on the right, I'm just like, dude, like.
I don't know. I don't know how you do that. What is the obsession in our society with like Botox? Because that's the only thing that you can explain this about, right? Like this is that whole, hey, it's not good enough. Like I need my, like, look at this picture just look at her lips. This is so scary to me. Just look at her lips on the right-hand side. Okay. That was funny. Look at, like, in this picture, she's just naturally beautiful.
Yes, you've got shape in your face. You've got a lot of
beautiful lips, beautiful hair.
It's just perfect. It's everything that you want.
Like, look at the shape of her eyebrows.
Yeah.
And then we just start getting a little crazy. And then we go all the way off the rails. Like, just look at her eyes. Like, look, her eyes are puffy or like puffy over here on the right, and like her lip. Look at the shape of her lips.
It's really like, and I think the other thing at play. So like, go back to the original one. You notice how there's a lot of contrast, like between the red lips and the white skin tone,
makeup,
and like like the makeup is really good.
It's a photo shoot, lighting,
like,
totally.
But like still, like that's Hollywood. Okay, I get it. And then go to the second one. Notice how it's all the same color now. Do you see what I mean? How it's sort of like all just this beige-ish sort of tone. And then go to the last one. Go to the last one here.
Do I have to?
Yes, please. One more time. Yeah. Notice how it's just all the same now. On the right there.
It's weird.
Like that to me is what's weird. Like I don't know who she's hanging with, or like who the person telling her this was.
Right, but the problem is she's like one of these. She's naturally beautiful,
gorgeous.
Like she
and
is.
Now we're just.
She is naturally beautiful. She is a beautiful woman.
Yeah,
she is. I mean,
it's frustrating.
And you did that. Like I'm the
what
natural.
Now? Let me tell you what now.
I'm the all natural guy. I'm not an implant guy. Like this is the Kim Kardashian conversation about the other day.
Butt implants.
I am not. I just don't happen to be a fan of Kim Kardashian.
Right.
This is shocking to me because I was a huge Gwen Stefani fan.
Yeah, and
this Gwen Stefani.
But look, I think the balls of this conversation is hey, what makes someone who's that beautiful right out the gate go to that person on the right?
I don't know.
And I'm not even. I want to be really clear. I'm not even saying she's a bad person or anything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I feel like in order for a transformation of this caliber to happen, someone either had to tell you or something had to happen to you that made you feel like you just weren't even close to good enough, or like you needed help, or like, you know what I mean? Like somebody to me who's that successful, and when you've done what she's done and gotten to that level in the first picture, when you're at that level, do you really just wake up one day and you're like, yeah, man, I gotta fix my cheeks. I gotta fix my eyelids. Like, that's what I can't wrap my head around.
I think it's sad when you look at pictures like that, we just are chasing a ghost.
Yes.
You know, and if we would rely on our natural ability, our natural beauty, like, dude, I'm not the best looking guy. Like I'd love to lose 3 or 23 pounds and, but it doesn't mean I'm going to go and like get surgery or lipo or like, it's just crazy to me, this pursuit of perfection.
Yes.
And we were talking about this the other day. The word perfect is one of the most dangerous words in our vocabulary because it just doesn't exist. Like the two most dangerous words in our vocabulary on a day in, day out basis in our lives are control and perfection, because they don't exist. Neither one of them exists. Like when you think you're in control, no, you're not. When you think you're perfect, no, you're not. You're not. Like it just can't be. And so I look at things like Gwen Stefani, and it's because she's a pop star. It's because she's a model. It's because she's on TV. I can't remember the America's Got Talent or where they flip the chair around with her husband. She's married to Blake Shelton, right? So we put her on this impossible level of expectation. And I think that's what we do to people like Britney Spears or, I don't, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Talking with Raphael podcast.
She's on The Voice.
The Voice. Okay, cool. She's married to Blake Shelton, right?
Yes,
country
I believe
singer.
So. Yes.
Nose, lips, check. Done. This is either Hollywood or just her circle encouraging her to make changes, which is, I hope that's not what this is. Oh, that's exactly right. Jesse Harsh says this is what happened to Meg Ryan. Yes, Meg Ryan.
Facts.
Another one of my favorites. Absolutely. Boyd Lake says people don't realize the damage they're doing to themselves. No, Boyd, I agree with that. Because you can't unwind the watch, right? Then again, I'm a guy with a tattoo sleeve, right? You can't unwind the watch.
Too bad.
I think that's exactly right.
It's brutal.
Yeah. Justin Saul says this reminds me of Zooey Deschanel without bangs. Looks like two different people. Yes.
Dude, that transformation was crazy too. I got to see that again.
Yeah, that is. Exactly. Meg Ryan. Jesse Harsh says Blake Shelton needs to hop on this tractor and get out of the Dodge. Yeah, seriously. Like, please. Kay Nurin says, hit that like button. Yeah, please smash that like button. We've had over 1,500 views and we've got 48 likes. Let's go. Get on it. Get on it. Megan Fox. What happened to Megan Fox?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
Was Megan Fox not good? Did Megan Fox have... Oh, Megan Fox is gorgeous. I hope that's not the case. Now I got to look this up. Are you sending... It sounds like you clicked it.
I gotta get this,
wow.
Deschanel. Because this is one of the... Here, I'm airdropping this to you right now. This is one of the craziest transformations. I'm really glad we got a comment about Zooey Deschanel, because this one, to me, is not that she did anything too crazy to herself outside of changing her hair. but it's one of the most insane looks that has happened. We're trying to pull it up here. See what we got here.
Hello. Oh, there it is, right there.
Okay, we're loading in.
It's loading in.
It's loading
find me Megan
into
Fox.
the dock. Okay,
find
let me find Megan
just
Fox.
search like Megan Fox before or after. Wow, she looks
Look at
different.
how different that is, dude.
Wow. That's Zooey Deschanel, by the way. She's married to one of the TV guys, the twins, whose name went out of my head. That's the same person?
Yes.
That's nutty.
Yeah,
she
dude.
looks completely different. That is insane. Wow. Did Megan Fox have like plastic surgery or something?
Yes, a little bit.
That's brutal.
I'm getting.
What
it.
about like the other one that's crazy? Let me see if I can find a picture of it. Renee Zellweger. Do you guys remember? Jerry Maguire, Renee Zellweger.
Okay, I'm sending Megan Fox over because this is kind of crazy. I have to say I didn't follow this one too closely, but this one's kind of crazy too.
Okay, find me Renee Zellweger plastic surgery.
Okay,
because
I got you.
Or Jennifer Grey.
Jennifer Grey.
Jennifer Grey. Oh, Jennifer Grey. Jennifer Grey's another one that is just crazy, and I don't know why we do this to ourselves. That's the thing that
Bro, what?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
Wow, Megan Fox. Are you kidding me? Oh, come on, load. It's uploading. Are you serious?
Dude.
Are you serious with Megan Fox?
Yes. Yes, dude.
Oh, that's brutal. And the thing I don't understand is these are all naturally beautiful women.
Yes.
Man. Well, I mean, listen, we probably shouldn't be so judged, but
well, I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying this is an insane transformation. The befores and afters are like, whoa.
Now search Renee Zellweger.
Like, wow, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to. Wow. To me, that's crazy. I don't even know what you say about that. I don't even know what you say about that. Like, that is just...
Bro, Zellweger, there's a graphic here that explains, like, her face. Oh, dude.
Yeah, you got to get that picture. You got to get that picture. I don't know why we want to do this to people. I really don't.
Well, and I think it's messed up, too, because there's just no reason for them to feel this way, that they have to do this. Like, it's not...
By the way, I didn't get the Jennifer Grey picture, but it's fine.
What?
It didn't come through. But send me Renee Zellweger, because that's a good one, too. And I'll see. All we're doing is airdropping.
Yeah, we're working on this right now for you guys.
Yeah, get the Jennifer Grey one because that's nutty. The Jennifer Grey one is.
I'm sending you Jennifer Grey. Just sent that to you.
Where is it? Ah! I'm trying to find it, and I don't have it. Anyway, the point is, these things. I can't believe that one. I don't know where these are going, dude.
They're going somewhere.
Whatever. Anyway.
And here's Zellweger. I really hope this one loads.
Save to downloads.
Yeah.
Save to downloads. Okay, it says it's in downloads.
So click on it down there in the toolbar.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hang on.
There you go.
Hang on. Relax. See, this is the stuff we do on the fly.
Click on another portion of
it's not. It's a web. You're sending me a web thing. That's why I can't see the Jennifer Grey one. Here's Renee Zellweger. Let me pull this one up. Redo the Jennifer Grey one, and just do like a screenshot or something. It's taken forever to load this. Here's it. Ooh, yowzer! That's Renee Zellweger. That is Renee Zellweger from.
How about that?
That's crazy. Oh my goodness! Is this what Hollywood does to people?
Apparently,
I feel like this is what Hollywood does to people.
Yeah.
And are they?
And you know what I think happens? While I was doing this, I was just thinking. I just had this thought. Is it a thing where these people, and this Jennifer Grey one's a really good example. So is it a thing where stars come in naturally?
Okay, wait. This is shot. Put your hands at 10 and 2 if you're in the car, because this Jennifer Grey one is.
They have huge success. They have huge success. Then they got to reinvent themselves. Put that thing. Yeah. You see that? So you see on the left how she's young, natural, big hair, looks amazing. But then she had to reinvent herself.
Bro.
That's what's crazy to me, dude. That's what's crazy to me,
That's crazy. Yes. Greg Hawkins, exactly right.
Well, Greg would know, right? Greg,
Hollywood
you're in that
changes
industry.
people.
You're in that
Greg's
industry,
an actor.
dude.
Yeah, Greg says all these chicks are way out of our league. Oh, yes.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, exactly right. Kanai Johnson says nothing is perfect. Even pencils have erasers. Oof. Isn't that the truth? Justin South says it's The Voice, the singing show of our generation.
Yeah.
Okay. Rhett Williams. Great show. Just subscribe. Your takes are really informational and professional. Keep up the good work, boys. Thanks, Rhett.
Hey, appreciate you,
Good
Rhett.
seeing
Thank you.
M. Morris says Renee Zellweger.
Dude.
Bro. The Renee Zellweger one, I mean.
Bruh.
That doesn't even look like the same person. I mean, are they even related? That photo.
No.
Is Jennifer Grey even related?
That's the one that I think is stark. That's
but Zooey Deschanel right here.
But the thing with Zooey Deschanel is it's mostly hair, right? That is like, obviously there's some changes to the face, but she's gorgeous, dude.
Are they related?
No.
Man.
Distant cousins.
I mean, that's insane. That's insane. Yeah. I think this is what we do.
All right.
There you go. Yeah, we have to go. Hey, thanks to our good friends at the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business are the Advocates. Every day, the Monty Show is presented by the Advocates. Also, please go check it out. Free webinar for trydaytrading.com/Monty. trydaytrading.com/Monty. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.